Yay!
feels weird.
What is going on, everybody? It is Friday night here on BSM. I almost wanted to do the 30-second timer that I always do as well, but I figured the anticipation is probably killing the audience, so might as well go ahead and get the hell on with the show. And so let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome to BSM on a Friday night. What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media coming at you live, and don't really have a whole lot to talk about. We got the 12-team playoff deal going on, and it's like there's this news each day, there's that news each day, and it gets more interesting. And I wanted to bring something up. I really wanted to have at least one topic for the show tonight. Before I get into it, let's check the chat here. What's up, Neo? Of course, myself talking with you guys a bit. What's up, Wisconsin sports fan? That's good you have a computer. Sorry about your tablet. What's up, Jerry? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you guys in here. Love each and every one of you. Listen, we're gonna get into some playoff talk tonight, and we got the 12-team playoff pros and cons. Oh, turn my camera back on. There we go. Right, and I tried to come up with this list. It was kind of tough, and I kind of narrowed it out, and I came up with more positives than negatives, and some of these obviously are opinionated, right? The two negatives for playoff expansion is the first one I came up with is okay. So we have 12 teams, right? You'll get the Power 5 champs, a couple at-large teams, some group of 5. I mean, you're going to get 12 teams in there, right? The first 4 get first-round buys. So here's what I got for you guys. Here's the cons, the negatives. I got 2 of them. And I'll kind of go into depth about them, too. Potentially a waste for the second-round games. I just mentioned the top seeds pretty much get a bye, the top 4 teams. Round 1 could be great, right? But let's say we have a normal season and we get in the top 4. Let's say we have Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia or Oklahoma. Let's go Oklahoma. You have those. Oklahoma hasn't won a playoff game. I know. But okay, still 3 out of 4. You got Ohio State, Clemson, Bama right there. Right? They get first round buys. You're still going to want to watch what the other 8 teams do in the first round. You get teams in there, Notre Dame's. Let's say you get like Cincinnati, or you get another SEC team like Georgia or Florida or whoever it might be in there. Let's say if Penn State had a bad year last year due to opt-outs and injuries and stuff like that, but let's say James Franklin on a normal season, a normal year, has his team in gear. They're normally a top 10, top 15. So they could kind of fit in the category of trying to make it or something, or being an at-large team. Let's say they're one of the best one-loss teams. They're at-large. They get in there. You get like that. First round games are going to be interesting. And then here's what and I hate to admit it, but I think people might be right. Here's what I got. The two negatives. I mentioned potentially it could be a waste. For the first round game. I'm sorry, second round games, right? The top seeds get a bye. Round 1 could be great. You see who wins there. But then those teams go on to play Ohio State, Bama, Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma, whoever it might be. The tier 1 type of programs that we're used to seeing in the playoffs every single year. So there's that. Then the other con, the negative aspect of this, is regular season. It's not as meaningful, It devalues, could it possibly devalue the conference championships? It might. It might not. I don't know. Because how do I want to put this? Okay, the Power Five conference champions are getting in. Let's say you have Georgia and Alabama go head to head undefeated. Let's say, and let's say in the ACC, real quick. You probably won't see it like this, although Mac Brown's a great recruiter and all, and Sam Howell. But let's say next year, let's say they were to expand it now, and you say, okay, we're going to expand it for the 2021 season. All right, and let's say you get let's say Georgia beats Clemson, runs the table, right? Clemson's got the one loss. Um, let's say North Carolina also has a loss. They come out on top, the other division. And let's say it's a one loss on a one loss in the ACC title game between North Carolina and Clemson. And let's say you have an undefeated Bama, undefeated Georgia play each other, right? Um, obviously, you'll get the ACC champion. You'll have the SEC champion. And potentially, since they're both undefeated, if it's close, like let's say Georgia beats Alabama, the one loss Bama get in, sure, maybe. Um, where was I? I'm a little bit lost too because I'm trying to put all this together. Um, it's does it devalue the conference championships? Because, like I just said, let's say you have an undefeated Bama and undefeated Georgia, and if it's close and Georgia wins, or vice versa, Bama wins, but the loser of the SEC title only has the one loss, which was the championship, and it's close. Can you really rule them out as not being one of the 12 best teams? And if you put them in, was it a meaningless championship other than, Bama won it or Georgia won it? And that's great and all, but I mean, it's like either way, you're still getting in, even if you lose. You know, you'd still qualify to be in the top 12, right? I mean, think about it. Um, so it could be a waste. I mean, look, it could devalue conference championships. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I don't know. But again, this is just what I came up with. So the two cons, the negative aspects of this, it could potentially devalue conference championships. The first one that I put, but the second one I'll mention is it could be a waste for the second round games. The top seed's gonna bye. Round one can be interesting because you'll have like 8 on 10 or something, whatever it might be. But then you play the big boys like Clemson and Oklahoma and Bama and Georgia. Those teams are the cream of the crop right now. They 9 times out of 10 are gonna run through these teams, right? I mean, any given upset, any given Saturday, like I say, but I mean, the more I think about it, man, like let's say Cincinnati or UCF, or let's say we get a group of five team in for some weird reason. You really think they're going to go up against like Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson? I mean, Cincinnati did give Georgia a little bit of trouble last year, but I mean, I really don't know what that was about. But I mean, credit to them. But like, let's say Clemson. Is Cincinnati going to give a run against Clemson? I don't know. So I mean, and I hate to put it like that, but I don't know. Now let's stick to some pros, the positives of this. It makes it easier on the committee, right? Think about all the teams that could have qualified last year, right? You had Notre Dame get in. You had teams like Cincinnati, BYU, Coastal, Notre Dame got in. A&M, I still argue, probably should have got the spot. They were definitely the best one-loss team because they ran the table and their loss was early on in the season. Um, I mean, you had all of that. Now, that was just a weird COVID year. We probably won't have a scenario like that ever again, although uh, a lot of craziness does happen in college football, but you're always going to have a debate for who should get the fourth spot, right? You're always going to have that argument. So if you have, let's say, okay, you get your top three teams in there, right? Let's focus in on what we have now with the four with the four teams. You have your three. Let's say you get, okay, Ohio State wins the Big Ten. Everyone's SEC, Clemson, right? The three main teams, the usual suspects we see, right? But then you got the fourth spot. One loss Pac 12 champ, one loss Big 12 champ, undefeated Notre Dame in there or something. Whatever kind of scenario you want to set up, there's a few teams that could qualify for the spot, right? Well, if you put one in, you're going to have some happy people, but you're also going to have some people get pissed off because, oh no, it might have been a coin flip, but I still would have gone with this team over that team. No one's happy about it, man. Holy cow. No one's going to be happy about that. No one's going to be happy because you're always going to have a case for multiple teams for the fourth spot. You could get your top two, top three in. Then there's always going to be, it's never going to be like the Final Four is truly set, right? Like we've had some debates and arguments in the past. Like when Bama got in 2017, a lot of people said that it should be, people say like Ohio State because of the Big Ten or whatever, which thank you, Ohio State, for knocking Wisconsin out, I guess, coming from an Alabama fan. And so there's a lot. So is it as meaningful? We've already seen with Alabama, right? And I'm not saying this because it was Alabama or anything, but even actually in 2016 too, Ohio State made it in. Well, if I recall, Penn State won the East, went to Indianapolis, won the Big Ten over Wisconsin. Did they not win it? Right. So you don't have. Look, you should, but you obviously you don't have to win your conference to make it in. Right. You should have to. We saw it last year with Notre Dame. Right. They didn't win the ACC. They lost it. Let me ask you guys this, and you answer in the comments. What is worse, putting in a team that's a one loss, or most likely it's one loss? But what's worse, putting in a team that didn't even make it, that had a loss that held them back, or putting in the loser of the conference championship game? Does it really matter? But I'm curious. You guys answer in the comments. Where was I? Oh, yes. You don't have to win your conference, but you should have to. And if we expand the playoffs, you definitely don't have to win it because you'd still be in at least the top 10 ranks, right? You'd still have a case. Oh, here's Wisconsin in the West. They didn't quite win the West, but they had only one loss to Ohio State early on. They ran the table. This team over here, or no, let's set it up a little differently. Let's have this make more sense. I guess Northwestern's been pretty good. Let's say Northwestern beats Wisconsin, wins the West because of that. Oh, well, they have the one loss to Northwestern. Northwestern won their division, ran the table. Wisconsin didn't win the division, didn't even make their conference. Yet they're still only a one-loss team, 11-1. But they beat everybody by, like, let's say 20, 30 points, hypothetically speaking. This is all hypothetical, by the way. It's interesting. It really is, because would you put that Wisconsin team in there? With 12 teams, you probably could, right? So the pros of it: more teams get a chance at the playoffs. I love that, right? We get more matchups. We get more games, or maybe not even more games. I don't know. But it's a bracket. It's an actual tournament type style. More teams get a chance in there. It also makes it easier on the committee, right? Referring to the number of time. How many times do we have the fourth spot up for debate. How many teams, I just mentioned, how many teams qualified for it even last year? A couple years ago, Bama got in over like Ohio State or Wisconsin. There's been quite a few times a certain team should have been the fourth spot but wasn't. Do I think Bama should have made it in 2017? I mean, we saw what happened with second and 26. But I mean, I was sitting there, and obviously as a fan, I'm excited. But at the same time, I mean, we didn't really have that kind of team. We ran the table, sure, but not only did we lose the Iron Bowl, Auburn whooped us. It's crazy. Um, so I mean, it gives more teams a chance. It makes it easier on the committee. You know, you don't have to worry about okay, crap, who gets this final spot. Because you're not going to have like 8 other teams qualified for that, but you might have 2 or 3. Okay, fill up the other spots and then find some at-large teams. You got 12. Also, what about this? Oklahoma or Big 12? Could they finally get a playoff win early on? Let's say you got Oklahoma, they're playing a team like UCF or Cincinnati in the group of 5, or play a Pac-12 team that's probably not as good. Which that's another thing. The Pac-12 could probably benefit from this. Teams like Oregon or USC, if they win the Pac-12, there you go. There's a lot that goes into this, really. But I want to hear from you guys. I'll go ahead and drop the link. I guess. And you guys can come on and talk about it. But still, what's up, Jeff? Wisconsin sports fan, Neo, Jerry, Bet. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. But yeah, anyway, that being said, I mean, the only thing I like about the 12-team playoff is there could be some chaos here or there. There really could be. Outside of that, I'm not against the 4-team format right now. I love it. I was so excited when they expanded to 4. Well, now they're going to 12, and a lot of other teams get a chance. Hey, what's up, Trenches? How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for showing up. This is awesome.
Absolutely. I've been on doing a live stream myself, but it was literally just me trying to figure out StreamYard, trying to work out some bugs.
That's awesome, man.
So how's everything going?
Everything's going great. Just I guess talking some football, and it looks like Jeff Webster in the comments is pretty pissed. He's sick of hearing about the 12-team format.
What do you want, dude? There's not a lot to talk about.
Right? There's really not. I mean, baseball's going on, but it's not at the exciting part. I mean, halfway through the season, but we're not quite there on closing in for the postseason yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it every now and then just to try to get some, some Acuna relief. But besides that, nothing, man. I'm the same way with basketball as I am with baseball. It's playoffs or nothing.
I got you. Yeah, we got the NBA playoffs. I'm gonna double check because I thought, who's playing? The Sixers.
Sixers and Hawks are playing Game 7, but I don't think that's tonight.
Game 6 of the Sixers and Hawks is right now, and it's 20 seconds. Hawks down 3 in the 4th.
That's right. I was wrong. Bucks pushed the Nets to Game 7.
I'm gonna have to get my phone and turn this on. Hold on. Let me see. ESPN. I've been following along with these Hawks, man. Now, Atlanta leads the series 3-2. If they win tonight, they pretty much seal it. But, yeah, Embiid and Philly, man, they're not messing around right now.
They're not, man. But as long as Trae Young comes to play, I'm not worried.
Trae Young, he's only been in the league a couple years. He's young.
Yeah.
Not just because of his last name, but, I mean, he's talented, too.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. We got this going. I guess a foul or something called with it's got like 13 seconds left.
In the
Philly
game?
up. Yeah, Philly's up by 3.
Ooh, man, yeah. Give us play by
This
play
is
on this one,
good.
man.
Here we go.
Just going off comments real quick. Wisconsin sports fan says, "Is it realistic for an SEC to go 5 teams in the playoffs?" I don't think so.
No. No.
There's
One
no
could
way they let that
dream.
happen.
One could dream.
And heck yeah, Bet, I appreciate it, man. Once we hit 100 subs, somebody's getting a jersey, and I appreciate you hitting that, man. It could be you.
What are you at now?
Well, if Bet just subbed, I think I'm at 69 or 70, so I'm pushing the 100 finally.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a while to catch up to you, man.
Yeah. That might have sealed this game. It's 102.97 with 13. Ooh. Yeah, y'all go sub up between the trenches. How long you been making videos?
Making probably about 6 months, but watching, for this community since
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah, I've seen you around
Oh yeah,
comments. Now
I
there's
just noticed
a timeout too.
rocking
But
the big dog Brett apparel.
yeah, man, he's great too.
Oh, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Who's got the ball?
Crap. I'm not. Hawks have possession.
I mean, they could hit a 3, get a quick steal back, but I mean, it seems like it might be over.
Yeah, but yeah, these playoffs have been great. Like the Hawks have had that, like what's the March Madness tournament, like Cinderella type season, like out of nowhere. They're at the big dance and they're just having a party.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
the
think
team that surprised me the most has been the Suns.
yeah,
I didn't expect them to push this far.
them and the Hawks are yeah.
Wisconsin,
Harris.
Ole Miss, A&M, the top 12 this year.
There you go. Oh, got 2.
Yeah, but the problem with that Wisconsin is if you got guaranteed bowl bids, it knocks one of those out of the top 12 for the playoffs if that happens. Look, man, I'm all for SEC, but there's going to be people saying that, hey, it's SEC bias no matter what happens.
Yeah, right. We can't avoid it any longer.
Nah. But then again, I mean, you can't argue it anymore either. I mean, yeah, SEC's biased because they produce the most NFL teams and the most championships.
Right.
All right, this game's over.
Now,
104-99.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it there. But
all right, game 7.
You have at least for the ACC. I know it's Clemson and everybody else over there, but still don't sleep on Mac Brown in North Carolina. I mean, they could at least run a table and just have just win some game. They know how to win games.
Well, dude, they're my pick to win in the ACC this year.
Oh, are they?
I have them winning it. Yeah.
Good. That's
it's a tall task, man.
How many losses?
How many losses will they get?
Yeah, you think they like just straight up run through the schedule, or?
I think they probably lose 2 games, but it's not them. It's the problem. I think Clemson's going to have a hard time not replacing Lawrence, but replacing a dynamic back like Travis Etienne. That's going to be where they get their biggest trouble because with a new quarterback, your running back is your cushion. Well, now you're going to have a running back with no experience that can carry the team like Travis did when Trevor wasn't having his day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what Dabo's doing with recruiting and everything, like he has the talent, but the thing is like, I don't care how talented you are if you're new to the game and you've been sitting behind a guy that might be a little bit more talented, and you got big shoes to fill. It's like, there's kind of some pressure on you.
Oh,
You know?
big time, man. Now you're an Auburn fan, right?
No,
Just messing
Alabama.
with you. I'm just messing
Yeah.
with you. Yeah, man. I just like I said, man, the running back's always your biggest cushion when you're a quarterback starting out.
Mhm.
And to have a running back with no experience and it's not going to produce the numbers like Travis right out the bat, I think that's going to hurt him a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, look, DJ will be great. He won't be Trevor Lawrence. Lynn J. Dixon or whoever will be good. They're not ETN. You know, they're kind of Clemson right now is in a position like they were in maybe 2017. Remember when they lost like Watson and all that, and they had Kelly Bryant come in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, like I said, I got them in the ACC. Of course, I got Georgia in the East. I think the West is a lot more open than a lot of people. I think
mhm.
Alabama is definitely still the number one powerhouse to take down.
Ole Miss, A&M.
Ole Miss is
I
my
mean,
surprise to take that division. And the only reason I say that, and I said this in my breakdown on my channel, if any team's going to take Alabama down, that
mhm.
wasn't like a Joe Brady, Joe Burrow year. It's this year to try to do it.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
that's why I just went out the fences. I was like, I had Georgia, Ole Miss, North Carolina winning their division, and of course I had Oklahoma winning theirs.
Okay, I got you.
And as far as the Pac-12, I don't really care.
Talking about me on Peachtree.
Well, that's a good thing, man. Hey, if they're talking about you, they're talking about you.
I want to know what the hell they're saying though.
Hop on there.
Oh, it's Raj. It's Jesse J is what it is. So yeah, it's
Okay.
we were talking earlier on his
On
stream or
Rogers.
whatever, the whole like tender. I don't know if you were there for like the
I was
tender
there.
BSM. Well, it didn't work out. So I joined in like Facebook dating and I told everybody and they're like, "Yo, what's the update?" I'm like, "I'm talking to people."
Let me ask you this, because I know I messaged you on Twitter, talk about, I'm in
Yeah,
the same belief as you and Chess. Have you tried Christian Mingle?
I have not, but I've heard about it.
It's worth a shot. I mean, I'm married, so I don't know anything about any of these sites. I just figured shoot for it.
Yeah.
But hey, man, congrats on the job, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I was supposed to start today, but some stuff came up. But I guess they're gonna have me start tomorrow.
Yeah. But I do agree. Like I was listening when you were talking about that on Roger Stream, man. The drive and motivation is going to catch their eye more than any experience and anything else that you can bring to the table. I promise you that.
Yeah, man, for sure. Eyes on the prize, I guess.
Alice said Pete gave you a shout out, so I think it's good.
Yeah.
There you go.
There. Yeah.
Like I said, man, if my name gets brought up anywhere, I don't care what they're saying. I'm just happy. So good for you, Ballard.
Yeah, but I've just this whole playoff expansion is it'll be interesting. I mean, it'll be great to see more teams in, but man, if it's gonna be blowout after blowout like we've seen in years past, then I wouldn't be surprised if they say, you know what, we might as well have just stayed at 4.
Well, here's the thing. So I'm a little different than a lot of people, man. I like it a lot. The
Yeah.
reason I like it is one, there's going to be no complaining.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear teams like Cincinnati and Central Florida. Oh, I never got a shot. Well, you're getting your shot, and then it's going to show those teams what it's like to play in an SEC type schedule, and that's going to be the whole
Yeah.
argument.
Yeah. Because you're playing with the big boys.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. You play Georgia one week, Alabama next week, and then turn around and play Oklahoma or Clemson. Good luck.
What's up,
So,
Malik?
Good
the hell
Lord.
am I looking at?
Oh yeah.
What is that?
Some dog puppet I have. My puppet I have.
Gosh.
Is
So
it
I
just a
just
still picture? Because it's creepy as hell.
Yeah, it's just a still picture.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting on for it to move the whole time, just like staring.
So I just found out that you can make stingers on StreamYard without having to pay for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not-
it's always been free. I got
I
quite a
just
few
don't
of
understand how you're doing what you're doing, Ballard. Like the national championship background. Like, how did you do that without having to pay?
them. I got the pro version of
Oh, so you
StreamYard. So
paid.
what you do? Yeah, if you go to brand, if you have it, it'll be under background. Once you get like the pro, like look here, I use that for when I do my show with chess. I got this one. I got that one. Here's something for all the Bama fans out there. We're holding up that championship. Let that thing fly. But yeah, man, if you get the pro version, you get all like you can have backgrounds, you get unlimited stream time, and you can get more people on the stream too. There's a lot of cool benefits to it.
Yeah, but how much is it a month?
Like 20 something. And then you get like 4 hours worth of.
I thought it was more like something like more like 10 or whatever, but so
No, it's like 20, $25.
Yeah.
A month. I love this green screen thing. I just hope it never like crashes on me and like it shows my face and stuff when I use something funny like this.
yeah.
Remember when Lou was making that TikTok St. Paul thing?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I made a picture for it. I made this, and then Chess told me to not use it. So
Mm-hmm.
it says I do anything. It says I do anything I want as long as Allison approves. But
Yeah. Wonder if I can get in Pete's show real quick. Hold on.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute this.
Between the Trenches, where'd you get all those paintings behind you from?
So this one right here,
Yeah,
I got in Athens. There's a guy who's been there for like 10 years. When you're coming out of the archway, he's usually at the corner,
yeah,
and he painted that whole thing with his mouth because he doesn't have arms.
yeah.
Insane artwork. And then the one right up here, right above my head,
Right.
that is a BVD original.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, you said the guy painted with his mouth,
Yeah, he doesn't have arms. He paints everything with his mouth.
and he painted that.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. If you look him up, his name's Michael Davenport. But that was all done on mouth.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. I mean, some people just have like legit talent.
I could never. I could never do something like that,
Nah.
especially with both my hands. No way.
But I will. I mean, that's
Why don't you like you have a talk over your phone?
But BVD, man. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah.
Probably not the
That
first
is-
thing you had it over.
Of course, I'm gonna put it on crooked as hell, but we'll figure it out.
No wonder who has a better setup, you or Raj.
So me and Roger went back and forth on like hat collections and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I'm hoping to be moving up to Georgia here soon, and I'll probably be within 10 minutes of Raj, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
No, Chess is not in YouTube jail. He appealed his flag yesterday, and within 10 minutes, it was taken back off. So he's good to go.
So Chess has had one of the shortest YouTube jail sentences ever.
Yeah, I've never seen something like that. Like we were literally doing the game, and then boom, it got hit.
Right.
In 10 minutes, he's like, "Hey, man, they said the appeal's overturned."
Right. I didn't even notice till Chess said, "Hey guys, stream's not going."
Well, I'm glad it wasn't, man. I was like 10th place in that stupid game.
Dude, I was like 12. That's not even funny. Oh, it's so close to last.
Now I'm sure.
Yeah, I give up. I'm not waiting on Pete.
Oh, between the trenches, right beside that The painting with the mouth guy. What happened? What are all those little button things?
So that's really cool, man. That was my grandfather's, and that was the 1980s. It's each team, the buttons they gave out for
Wow.
the games, and my grandmother got them all from that and put them on that banner for me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Happy
pretty cool, man. I got some ancient stuff over here, dude. I got
Wow.
1980 Bulldog beer from the
Woo!
championship. It's pretty cool,
Oh.
man. I got some old stuff in here.
I don't have much Georgia. I'm a Georgia fan, but I don't have much. The best thing I have from Georgia is that 1980 Coke bottle.
Nice. Yeah, man. I got the beer from the grandfather, a bunch of other stuff. I got 1960 something Bulldog trivia game.
Oh wow.
I
Oh,
got the Mark Rick Wheaties box. Just some random old stuff.
I can tell Raj has more because he has it in the corner where he sees all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I mean, this is some, like I said, this is the whole wall goes down.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I even got, some flag and stuff over here. Got some more flags and more stuff going that way. Look up, there's some more stuff. But most of my money went to hat. Like I am a hat collector and a half, and now I can't get my damn camera to sit right.
Well, the thing I like about yours is you have some like original stuff that nobody else has, like those paintings and stuff.
Yeah, but
And,
the wall's about to get a whole makeover here soon because I got a job to where I got to talk to customers via this side. So gonna redo the wall and maybe some brick and then some shelves to hold some Georgia stuff, make it look cleaner.
Cool. I went to the Bama Sports Hall of Fame Museum yesterday, and I picked up. Well, we're giving out like this catalog deal of who got inducted, but I also got this book that's it's based on like Crimson Tide athletics or whatever, and like the faith behind some of the key guys that have played an important role in building like the athletic program and all that. Right. So I think it's pretty cool. I can't wait to read it, but it's 50 years of Crimson Tide faith.
That's awesome.
That'll be great.
Yeah, I actually so last year I tried to cheat the system. I was trying to get tickets for the Georgia G-Day game, and it was all like limited. I still got the tickets, but not through this way.
Yeah,
but
man.
If you were a Hart family founder, like if you donated to the Hart Foundation, they'll give you tickets access early. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and donate. I donated, but it didn't let me log in time. But today I opened the mail and I got a package from the Hart Foundation. And it's like, welcome to the 2021. It's kind of cool. Sent me a magnet schedule.
Oh wow!
And a license plate.
Nice. You got all kinds of memorabilia.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So all right, so I didn't get to see the first half, man. What's your biggest cons, Ballard, of the playoffs? Just that teams are gonna get destroyed round one.
Yeah, I mean I mean the regular season I think will not be as meaningful, and possibly could conference championships be devalued because think about it. If you got 12 teams, right? First off, we already know you should have to, but you really don't have to make your conference to make it in the playoffs. We saw that with Notre Dame last year and Bama a few years ago. And now let's take Georgia and Bama. Let's say they both run the table. They go undefeated. They meet this year. Let's say they expand it to 12 this year, which it won't be for a couple years. But let's say, forget about when, but let's say you get Georgia and Bama. They're 12-0. They meet in Atlanta. It's very close. And I'll give credit to your Georgia Bulldogs, right? Let's say they beat Alabama. Bama just lost the SEC title. That's their only loss, and it was close. Normally, you probably don't put the loser of a conference championship game in the playoff, although we saw what happened with Notre Dame. I don't think they should have got in. But
Well-
now you got 12 spots. Who else? I mean, you mean to tell me Alabama, who took it to the wire with Georgia in the title game, doesn't get in with 12 spots? You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, I mean,
there's no chance they don't, and that's the same vice versa if Georgia lost that in a close game. They're
right.
100% getting in. Like, look, I think that's what made so many people mad about the 2017 season was that it was
Yeah.
Georgia, Alabama, two SEC teams went to the Natty.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
what do you want? Those were the two best teams. There's nothing you
Yeah.
can avoid on that one.
Yeah.
No team was beating either one of those teams that year. Period.
Unless your name was South Carolina.
Come on now.
You know, another pro, I mean, at least if you really care much whether they do or not, but could Oklahoma in the Big 12 finally break it and get a playoff win? I
Not
mean,
gonna happen.
if Oklahoma, if we expand to 12 and Oklahoma's losing their first game in a 12-team format, then
That could happen because think about it.
Yeah, it could, but I mean,
if they
let's
get a
say-
top 4 spot, they very well will lose their first playoff game because they're not getting an easy game. They're not getting
Exactly.
5
Well,
versus 12.
let's say if they're not one of the top 4 teams, let's say they get just outside and they're at like 5 or 6, and
they're
let's
playing
say
12 or
you
11.
put it, yeah, and you put a team like, I mean, they could beat a team like BYU. BYU last year had a case like they were saying like, oh, look at this group of 5 team over here, they're undefeated or a 1 loss or this. People considered BYU in the playoffs last year. People had that, and I'm like, look.
With this 14 playoff, in my eyes, unless there is okay, so unless every team in the playoffs has at least 2 losses, except 3 teams and a 1 undefeated FCS team, that's the
Right.
only way I can see group of 5 teams getting in. Is everyone else 2 to 3 losses, and there's 1 spot left with an
I
undefeated.
can tell you right now, if they expanded to 12, at least one team out of the group of 5 a year is making that playoffs. That's why it's getting expanded.
Right.
It's gonna happen every year because there's gonna be one team with 1 loss or less from the group of 5.
Right. And Group of 5 has some pretty good teams. Now, how they match
Yeah.
up against the big boys in the Power 5, obviously we'll have to wait and see. I think we all agree they're probably not getting past, Clemson or Bama. I mean, we could kind of agree on that, but like UCF in 2017 ran the table. They didn't play anybody worth anything. At
Auburn.
least,
But that's the Auburn team
there
that was already
that,
defeated by Georgia and everybody else. Like
Right.
they weren't really
Yeah.
a great Auburn team.
But they were
Right.
an FBS group of Power 5 team.
They were.
Yeah.
But do you
They're
think that
good on
Auburn
their
team
own
could have beat
level.
Oklahoma, Georgia, or Alabama that
no.
year?
Oh no.
Wisconsin says, what are the Yeah, help me understand this conference tie-in deal. Do you know what these are?
I don't.
No. Okay, but back to that argument. They beat
Yeah.
an Auburn team that beat Alabama and Georgia that same year. If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. So they could possibly have. Unless I'm thinking wrong, but
I don't know.
is that Facebook Daily?
No, it's MLB stuff. My Rays are down 4-1 at the bottom of the first.
Oh.
Against the Mariners, man. This is an up and down year. We were looking really, really good, but these past couple of games have just kind of had me scratching my head.
Are the Braves in it? Or are the Braves getting to the
I'm not
playoffs?
sure I'm not sure exactly what the Braves are doing. Let me see here.
Imagine if the Hawks and the
they
Braves.
won. They won 9-1 over St. Louis today.
Woo!
There you go. There you go.
Imagine if the Hawks and Braves win their playoffs. Sleeta would be no.
Be dancing in heaven.
Oh yeah. Sleeta, oh yeah.
Yeah, y'all beat the Cardinals 9-1. You play them again tomorrow.
What's the series right now?
You're on a 2-game win. You're on a 2-game win streak over the Cardinals right now.
Hopefully, we'll go for a clean sweep.
All right.
Yeah.
See, based on the conference champ thing, I would have Bama, Clemson, Oklahoma, and OSU, even though I have OSU at 8. Trenches says something about SEC not being able to have 5. Because you got to think, you're going to have at least, I'm going to say 3 teams from the SEC make it, right? This is
Right.
it's a 12. Then you got a Pac-12. You got probably 2 ACC teams.
Yeah.
I'd say 1 or 2 group of 5s. Let's go 2, just be on the heavy side.
Okay.
Let's say Notre Dame makes it in. So you're at 9 already. There could be another team from the Pac-12 make it in. Then you still got the Big 12.
Yeah.
I just find it hard that 5 SEC teams will make it in.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much guaranteed.
Hey, you would have to hope that the other conferences suck that bad. Is
Georgia,
what it would be. You know what I mean?
yeah, but Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and A&M would have gotten in last year.
That is true. You would have at least had 4, right?
Right.
You would have had 4,
mean-
but could you have had 5? No.
No,
No.
not
Ole
5.
Miss was not good enough to be in the top 12.
No.
Oh no.
They were
Top.
barely good enough to be in the top 20. No offense to them.
No, man, like I said, I have them possibly winning the West this year, but last year there's no way they get in the 12th.
No.
Right. This year, though, they could. Lane Kiffin, I think, is building something slowly quickly at Ole Miss. Think about it. Last year was his first year, and he only lost by a couple touchdowns to Alabama. Now, you could sit there and say, oh, Bama just was napping and didn't want to be. No, I really think something's happening with Ole Miss and the offense that Lane Kiffin wants to build, man.
Right.
It's bad.
I agree completely, man. But back to the 5 teams. So think about it this way.
Okay.
If you had 2 from the East, 2 from the West in the SEC, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That means that 3rd team that will get in to make that 5th spot already has 2 losses on their record.
Mhm.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of teams saying, hey, I have less than 2 losses or 2 losses, and SEC already has 4 teams. That argument's going to be made to death. There's no way they're going to let 5 teams in, unless, like Ballard said, the whole NCAA just falls apart.
Or North Carolina could be that one team going after that 5th potential 5th SEC team spot last year, right? Because didn't North Carolina only have like 1 or 2 losses?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Top 5 team at 21. I do rankings based on who's better than who not record. I agree with you, but there's just I don't see a way that they're going to see a team like, let's say last year, Ole Miss. Ole Miss would have been that 5th team if we're being realistically on it. I don't see them going, okay, well, Ole Miss can get in, and you're saying no group of 5 teams. There's no way they're putting Ole Miss over Cincinnati.
Yeah.
No chance. Based on last year, just go off last year's schedule and everything happened last year. Cincinnati gets in before Ole Miss. I mean, it's common sense.
Yeah. Way before Ole Miss does. I mean, they were far ahead. Was Ole Miss even ranked at all last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. At the end of the year, I don't know. We'll have to look at that.
At the
Yeah.
end of the year, I don't think so. But I think they did. I know they didn't at least get past the top 20, right? I mean, they say somewhere between 20 and 25, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Cincinnati proved that they were a better team when they put Georgia on a run for the money the whole game.
Hot pot.
Field goal.
Hot
Yeah,
pot.
I mean, what'd you say, Alan?
I said hot pot.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to give up
Guy.
that title yet, Alan. There's no other hot rod.
That's true, but I mean, he did make that field goal, and that was a pretty big field goal. Though.
It was clutch. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Ballard. Is Mechie the best receiver for y'all this year? Who's your number 1 receiver?
It should be Mechie I mean, you would think that based on him being the top guy from last year, because I mean we lost Waddle and Miller Forrestall, Devontae. But man, when I saw the spring game, there's a guy named Ajay Hall that's really good. He's Slade Bolden. It's close. I mean, I want to say yes, but I really don't know because man, I saw a couple other guys on the field last month that for the spring game just balled out.
Yeah.
I mean, Ajay Hawk. There's also this guy like Trayshawn Holden as well. I mean, they were going up, grabbing one-handed catches and just pulling them down. They were making these acrobatic catches, and now granted that the final score of the spring game, if you go back and watch, it was only 13-10, but they did
Yeah.
make some big plays. So Emma's got playmakers. I don't think, and I keep saying this, I don't think it'll be anything like it was last year, right? Like last year was just crazy, insane, and Devontae Smith. I mean, these guys are still that are coming in are young.
Oh yeah.
Especially the quarterback, pun intended. But
Not funny.
he
Absolutely
just, I don't know. Mechie's the best returning. Is he going to be the best productive or whatever? I don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no. We'll just have to wait and see. But he could
I'm
be.
gonna tell you right now, man. I watched that spring game.
Yeah.
right.
The biggest question I have for Alabama is still Bryce Young.
Yeah.
And that spring game, man, he was kind of trigger shy. I know he's got the arm and he's got the talent,
Right.
but he wasn't
just
letting
wouldn't show it.
Saban didn't want to show,
right?
or he didn't want to. Maybe something was going on with Bryce.
Yeah. Well, the defense, I'm sure the defense is going to be like an old school Bama defense that we're used to, too. I think it's going to be really, really good. And maybe it was a factor of, I really think maybe something got to Bryce. But at the same time, like, the defense was giving him some trouble. I mean,
well, the defense is stacked. I mean, look, it's no surprise. I mean, the top three defenses in this order: Alabama's number one coming into this year is number one, Alabama, number two, Clemson, number three, Georgia.
Right.
I mean, Alabama's defense is definitely their strength this year.
The question really is the offense. I mean, and that's shocking to say because I mean, look at who we've had.
But look at who you lost.
Matt.
That's why.
Well, yeah, look at who we've lost, but at the same time, like even when we lost Tua, people had Mac is serviceable, but Bryce Young will take over at some point. That didn't happen, but I mean,
I got a question, man. Is this an open forum like anybody can hop in?
Whatever, yeah, just hanging out.
Wisconsin, come on here. I gotta see why he has 5 SEC teams, man.
Who is the fifth SEC team?
Yeah, just based on last year was my argument. There's no way Oregon makes the top or Ole Miss makes the top 12.
Yeah.
You can't put anybody else in the East.
What do you think of a team like USC?
Which one? California?
The Pac-12.
Okay. Man, they are flipping a coin this year. They could take that division easily, but it just depends on where they're at.
Well, the Pac-12 is going to be down, period. So I mean, it looks like it'll be pretty simple for a team like Oregon or USC. But I still think USC has some good talent. They have one of the Kendon Slovis, the quarterback, should be pretty good this year. I don't know about the talent around. I mean, I guess he'll have some talent around him. Yeah. They lost. Who's the receiver? Amon-Ra St. Brown was drafted this year. So, I mean, they lost their top receiver. But if you go and you look at draft boards for next year, man, Kendon Slovis looks like one of the top quarterbacks. And it's not a very deep class, honestly.
I don't think he's as good as their last quarterback.
Oh, JT? Yeah, I got you.
But
I caught up on that.
It's definitely USC's to take that whole conference.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be enough to get in the playoffs.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, look.
That's cool, Wisconsin. I just wanted to get your idea, man.
I want to know who his second Big 10 team would be. Or Big 12, my bad. Because, I mean, Iowa State, they lost to, who was it?
Texas.
Texas?
Bro, don't sleep on Sark. Sark's going to turn that program back.
It'll take him a couple years, but I fully agree. I mean, look, I think the talent, like, what was his name? Tom Herman.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad. The problem was the past 2 or 3 years, ever since whenever that Georgia Sugar Bowl was, they wanted to put Texas back there. They never really won the Big 12, and they declined.
Yeah.
That was on her. I don't know. I don't think that it's on what's going on at Texas other than the coaching.
Well, look, man, as far as that conference, I'd love for Texas to win every game just because I can't stand Oklahoma.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to
I'm pulling for Sark, though, I'm pulling for Sark. I think a lot of people are pulling for him.
I am too, man, because, I mean, look, it's nothing to do with Alabama. Well, it kind of is because every coach that came out of Alabama has had a decent future. I mean, look at Kirby. Smart's going to try to just go what Kirby did. Lane Kiffin.
Except Jeremy Pruitt. Wait, did he
Jeremy Pruitt was
he's in the dome, man.
Like, I'm sorry. I hate to say it on the channel, man, but no one likes him. He's not. None of his staff has ever said, "Oh, what a great guy."
Right.
Nope.
Wait, didn't he go to Alabama though?
He was a defensive coordinator in 2017. So he helped us win a champ. Yeah. He was there when we won that championship. He was a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he took over for Kirby, but he didn't quite do what Kirby could do.
Right.
Ole Miss will make the playoffs because they're better. I agree. I got Ole Miss making the playoffs this year, but that's just because
really
how the teams are. Like I said, I have to pick somebody besides Bama in the West. This is the one shot.
Right.
So if they win the West,
they could be a Cinderella team in college football. Then.
Yeah. Let's say they win the West. Let's go back to what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Let's say everybody's falling off. We know Notre Dame's not going to be as good. I don't think Ohio State will be as good. I got Georgia, Oklahoma, North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say Texas A&M sitting there with 2 losses, which I think those losses might be, the SEC championship.
Yep.
And I'm going to say Texas A&M. And the only reason I say Texas A&M over Bama, is Kiffin's only goal is not to even win the West. He just wants to beat Saban. That's his only goal here. I think he focused on that, and it showed it in the last game. So let's say they have 2 losses sitting there, and they're looking better than everybody else, and they lost a close game to Georgia. I think they can get that 4 spot easy. The reason I'm disagreeing with Wisconsin is I'm basing it off of last year. Last year, there's no way they made the playoffs.
Yeah, no. I mean, they didn't suck last year either. Didn't they only have they only lose maybe 4 of their games or something? Did they go 6-4?
I think they lost 5. Man, they fell apart after the Alabama game, and you could.
That's true.
I
but
think
still
once Kiffin loses to Saban, he doesn't care.
Right.
I'm telling you, man. I think his main goal is beating Saban. If you beat Saban in the West, usually the West comes with it.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
Auburn, yeah.
But it showed you too. That game did show you he can compete. Because here's what I think. I feel like the Ole Miss game broke Bama's defense last year because we had Georgia next week. Remember, we let you guys score 24, and you let it have 24-20. Georgia didn't score at all in the second half. Couldn't get anything going.
It was Stetson Bennett, Ballard.
Right, it was.
You got to admit, once JT came in, it was a different Georgia team.
Okay.
I'm not saying y'all would have won or lost, but it's not the real Georgia that played at the end of the season.
Right.
Y'all still could have won that game, period. And I say the same to Florida fans. But to say, hey, we beat Georgia when they had Stetson, cool, you beat Georgia, but you didn't beat the best Georgia that year.
Right. Yeah, they didn't give it what they had.
Right.
Because Kirby's illiterate when it comes to quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, look, dude, I give Kirby a slide on last year. Because going into last year, if you look at it, man, the whole game plan was Jamie Newman. JT Daniels come off this horrible injury. It's okay. We got Jamie Newman.
Right.
Wake Forest kid, only a couple hundred yards away from what Trevor Lawrence did in the ACC. He's going to be great. He opts out. JT Daniels is still hurt. Who can you go with?
Right. I forgot JT was hurt
in it for one game and then kept JT Daniels back in since he was healed after that Arkansas game.
Yeah, but okay, so what you gonna throw him in Florida, your hardest game, week 1, that he's back? Man, if he loses that game or gets hurt again, it's over. Because if he loses that game, you're breaking his confidence after a huge injury like that. I don't think that's smart either. And look, dude, I'm not saying everything Kirby does is right. I've had my arguments about Kirby. But on that one, I mean, I don't know how else you could have handled it.
I don't trust Kirby with quarterbacks because 2017 when he put Jake Fromm over Justin Fields, I don't.
Well, this year there's no excuse because let me tell you something. If it's not JT Daniels, you guys got that Vandergrift kid coming in.
Right, Vandergrift.
Okay, so Brock looked really impressive during the spring game.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he's not JT. JT, you got to stick with JT.
Oh no,
And that's the
I
same
fully
argument
agree.
I have.
I think that's what it's going to be too. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, let's say he gets hurt because at any point, I remember when Jalen Hurts won the SEC title game against you guys a few years ago. He said his mentality was to prepare as if he's a starter. That's what backups do. So you guys you got this phenom 5-star freshman guy in Vandergrift coming in. You got who else you got?
Vandergrift's going to be our third string quarterback. I
Carson Beck's on
Carson
the
Beck's
20
number
roster.
2.
Oh, yeah.
And then Stetson is worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I forgot about Carson Bent. Or
That's
whatever.
like we have to
He's
have
a
a
4-star.
quarterback.
He's a monster. But here's the thing. Here's my question is going into next year, 2022, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Who leaves? Because to me, I mean, I like Brock. Brock looked impressive. Gunner's the next guy up.
That's who I was thinking of. Gunnar Stockton's the guy.
Yeah, he's not here yet. He comes next year.
In a
Right.
year.
But you're going to put a true freshman over a sophomore?
You damn right. I'm going to Aaron Murray that kid.
And Bama too. I mean, Young's gonna be a sophomore. Then he'll be a junior. We got have you seen Ty Simpson?
The tall kid.
Yeah. The tall kid. Dude, he's huge.
Yeah.
He's great too, man. He's very mobile and his arm is like when I saw his highlights, I'm not trying to compare it to Trevor Lawrence, but when he threw it, the way in which his form and finesse and everything that he had, it looked like Trevor Lawrence was throwing that football.
Hey man,
He looked great.
The problem is who's going to be starting?
Yeah.
Young, if Young is still there, it's still gonna be Bryce Young.
Okay, now here's why he's not Trevor Lawrence then. Because you ain't putting anybody above Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Well, hold on. Let's see. Young will be, he'll be a sophomore. He's 22. He'll still be here he'll be a junior.
I bet you missed.
You damn right I did.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because when Ty comes in, Young will still have an extra year left. He can't go nowhere yet.
Right.
Now let me ask you this. So Alan, I know you brought up the whole Justin Fields, Jake Fromm fiasco, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I see it on both sides, right? Let's go to Kirby's side first. You have a kid who just took you to a national championship. This freshman phenom hasn't really learned the playbook yet, has had problems going. You got to stick with the kid who brought you a national. But at the same time, that's why Saban's so great. Okay, we have Jalen Hurts. He took us to a national. He's doing good. Oh, this game he's not getting it done. Bring in a new kid.
But
I see both sides of it.
But Justin Fields actually had speed, unlike Jake Fromm.
Right, but Jake Fromm knew the playbook. Jake Fromm led to a national championship. Well, not round. It was Nick Chubb and Sony Michel led to a national championship.
Right.
Jake Fromm has been to big stadiums. He's beaten, his first game starting was in South Bend, and he won the game against Notre Dame.
Right.
Jake Fromm's been on that stage. I don't blame Kirby for sticking with him. The problem I have with Kirby is, hey, man, learn from the guy who taught you. If he's not getting it done at an important game, put in the new kid.
Right.
That doesn't mean he has to start every week, but, I mean, during the game, switch it out.
Right.
That was my issue with it. Not the fact that he didn't start Fields, the fact that he didn't put Fields in when it needed to be.
I'm going to thank, real quick, Jalen Hurts for leading Alabama to not 1, not 2, but if you think about it, 3 straight college football playoff trips. Now, granted, 2017, I mean, we almost didn't make it, but I mean, still, he was the quarterback all year, and we only had the one loss against Auburn. Now, here's my case for why he led us in 2018. Because had he not, now, I mean, if Till was still healthy in that game against Georgia, he would have kept playing. But think about it. Jalen Hurts went in there, led a comeback, and saved us. Because if we had lost the SEC title game we were down by like a couple touchdowns. I don't know if it would have looked all that.
What year is this?
2018.
Okay, yeah.
Think we get in if we lose that Georgia game? Honestly,
Y'all could have.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
probably.
I mean,
Here's the one thing. Here's who you need to thank for your 2017 national championship is Georgia, and it's not because you beat Georgia, in the overtime. You thank Georgia for beating the tar out of Auburn and it's the championship, giving you that fourth spot.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got you.
that really bit us back. But hey,
Did-
anytime
And
the barn gets there,
thank Ohio State a little bit for beating Wisconsin because Wisconsin wins that Big Ten. They probably get the fourth spot.
Yeah, but Georgia would still be in it.
Right.
So really, I'm not going to thank anybody.
Right,
on that.
but
I wish they wouldn't have.
But if Wisconsin gets the fourth spot, yeah, Georgia's still in there, but Bama's not.
Right, so Georgia gets a natty. So I'm not thanking either one of those teams.
Oh, well, I got you. I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
That got me there.
Now, did Justin Fields transfer in 2017 season or 18?
After the 18.
After 18.
Okay, so Alabama was fighting for that fourth spot against the Ohio State team without Justin Fields.
Yes.
Who was that quarterback for Ohio State?
Haskins.
Yeah.
Who?
Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, that's sad.
Let me ask y'all this. If we're going to talk about Ohio State in that conference. Does Harbaugh make it out of next year?
Absolutely.
He's out. He's gone. If he's not gone halfway through this season, I'd be shocked. And I know he'd be at least gone after the season.
If he
What if he beats Ohio State? Just what if? Let's see what he beats Ohio State.
He could listen to me. He could go 0-11, make it to the final week in November, and end up beating Ohio State. What took him so long? I'd still say he's out.
I'd say he can go 0-11, beat Ohio State, and that instantly gives him an extra 2 years.
I really don't know. I just
who do you replace him with?
Malzahn from UCF.
No.
But he beat
Gus just got there. You think Gus is going to turn around in half a season? Look how bad he did at Auburn.
Power 5 team, yes.
Yeah, but look, Gus is in the same boat as Harbaugh. He got paid way too much money for a crap job that he couldn't produce, so he got fired. There's no way they replace a Harbaugh with a Harbaugh.
He beat his rival, Alabama, once or twice.
Oh yeah, the Iron Bowl saved his job a couple times, honestly.
It did, but all right. I'm just saying, for what he produced, he wasn't worth the paycheck, and that's the same boat we're in with Harbaugh.
Yeah.
The coach I would like to see replace him because Michigan, look, man, Michigan's had a rough year since Harbaugh got there, but Michigan's still a top-tier program. I'd like to see, what's his name? Dude from Cincinnati.
Fickle. Luke Fickle.
Luke Fickle, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see him get that job.
Oh. The bet has a question. Says Trenches, Grayson Lambert or Stetson Bennett?
Lambert, because he can see over the offensive line. That's the only reason. They're both terrible.
Rumor has it the mailman Stetson Bennett is still at Bryant-Denny picking up envelopes that are flying all over the place.
Okay.
Is that true?
I don't know. He's too short to see. The heck was that? But yeah, no, you could pick any quarterback in Georgia history. I'm going to take him over Bennett, and it's nothing. I mean, I heard everything I hear is Bennett's a great guy. He's hardworking. He doesn't have the attributes to make it, man.
No, he doesn't. Not at least compared to anybody else. He'll make it in like an FCS team, but you need more than what he was giving you to compete with teams like Alabama, with Auburn or Clemson or the big guys. You know what I mean? Like Florida, in the SEC or Florida, Oklahoma, Ohio State. You need better than what he was giving you to compete.
All right. Let me ask you this, Alan. You say you're a Georgia fan, right? Alan,
you there?
All right. Let me ask the chat then. who's Georgia's biggest rival? Like, who does Georgia fans hate the most? Like me personally, I think it's all geographically where you're living. Me, I can't stand Florida because I live in Florida. I'd rather be 11 or 1-11 and that one win be to Florida than to lose to Florida.
You're in Florida?
Yeah, I'm right outside of Jax.
Okay.
I can see that, but for personal reasons, I'm gonna have to go with Auburn because
Deep South rivalry.
Yeah, that and I go to that game every year, so
No, I go to the cocktail party almost every year, so I get it, man.
yeah. And I would rather go 1-11 and that one win against Auburn, in my opinion, because I go to that game a lot.
Here's why I'd pick Florida over Auburn, not even just because I go to that game and I live in Florida. The winner of that wins the East.
Oh yeah,
Auburn could beat us and we could still run the table and make it to a playoff.
right.
The bet says Florida. I agree. Jerry says Florida.
I wouldn't know because I'm not a Georgia fan, so I don't know how you guys truly view it. But from a national standpoint, Florida won the East last year. Now, even though they're gonna suck,
Yeah,
probably this year and take a step back. Honestly, of your traditional rivalries, I mean, it's a divisional opponent that can compete.
I got him third in the East this year.
Chess and I agreed. Missouri probably second in the East.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They'll be good. Eli Drinkwitz will be pretty good here.
Now I know I'm in the minority here, but I think South Carolina third in the East. And Florida
Yeah, you're
fourth.
definitely the minority. Dude, I think South Carolina's got a harder rebuild than Tennessee, man. They got so much to go up against right now.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's sad.
Like, it's a toss-up for last place between South Carolina, Tennessee, and Vandy. Like, when you're looking at – literally, if you were realistically looking at the East, Kentucky might be a favorite for fourth or third.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me if I told you that maybe obviously Auburn, the biggest rival of Alabama, no doubt. But
That's
outside
obvious.
of that, go to LSU for
Ole
maybe
Miss.
our second biggest?
Ole Miss.
No, I'd say LSU. Dude,
I'd say
Think about what they did in 19, and even though they took a step back last year,
that was 1 year.
it has been a competitive rivalry all time.
Yeah, that was only 1 year, Alan. But what has Ole Miss done?
They've beaten Alabama 2 years in a row, and
what they do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was saying earlier. When you look at a lot of teams, when you beat Saban, usually the West comes with it.
Right.
I gotta give LSU the nod on the second best rivalry for Bama in the West. I think the biggest rivalry right now in the SEC, and not really a rivalry, but the biggest game is Bama Georgia.
Right.
Wow.
I haven't used a whole lot of singers tonight, but that's
Go for
it. There we go.
Yeah, be right back.
I agree, Bet.
What's Bet say? Cocktail party winner wins the East. Bama, LSU, or Iron Bowl most of the time decides. Yeah, 9 times out of 10. That's really what you have in the SEC.
I just skimmed on it. I didn't even see the first part where it's like, just like Trenches said. So I pretty much said, yeah, I agree with myself.
Yeah.
Proofread.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting year. I really do think that. I think the West is more open than the East.
Yeah, A&M, Ole Miss. Now, do you think LSU was pretty much the worst offending champs we've seen
ever
since like 2011 Auburn? But yeah, ever. They got to take a step forward this year, though, right? They got to take a step forward.
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
No? You think they stay where they are or go back?
Dude, I think that national championship, besides Burrow, the whole national championship, just call it Joe Brady's team.
Facts.
Now that Brady and Burrow's gone, we saw the real LSU. And think about it this way, man. Before that year, how many years in a row and how much conversation's been Coach O needs to go? Coach O's on the hot seat.
Like 90% of the time, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be the same after this year. Coach O really should be on the hot
Yeah.
seat.
But
And
how
it's
many
because Joe
years?
Brady took a good quarterback, turned into a great quarterback, and ran a great offensive scheme.
But how many years is one?
System.
But
Yeah.
how many years does one national championship give Ogeron, or guarantees Ogeron that job?
2022.
Yeah, because I think as soon as the championship guarantees end, he should get fired, like instantly. I
Well,
think
let's
that's
see. So let's say I'm wrong. Let's say he turns around. Let's say he even has like a 9-3 season. No
Still
one's going to
doesn't-
be saying he's terrible. He's got to improve from last season. I just don't think he will.
Yeah.
I think he'll get like one more win against some random non-opponent, non-schedule SEC, whatever
Right.
it is, non-conference.
But I mean, realistically, everything we've talked about so far in the West today,
Mhm.
Bama, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. That's 3 losses on LSU's record already.
Right.
Auburn
Now you
might.
got to throw in Florida because they play every year.
Auburn might.
Auburn might. Who knows? Bo Nix can't throw past 20 yards, so I don't know.
That's fair.
But Nick's
Yeah.
about to fight for his job, but yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of toss-ups, man.
In my mind, Auburn has a few quarterbacks that could replace Bo Nix, or at least
They
one.
do, but he's
Didn't
alma
they
mater,
just
so
get
actually-
TJ Finley or whoever it was from LSU?
Yeah, they got like a freshman quarterback that I think is better than Bo Nix by a long shot,
I think Stetson's just as good as Bo Nix.
or better,
What's that?
or better.
Well, maybe. I mean, I saw flashes of Stetson that looked a lot better than Bo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, did Jake Fromm get carried in that 2017 season with?
Absolutely. Dude,
Oh,
they
yeah.
had Nick Chubb and Sony
How is
Michel.
that a question? How is that a question?
No,
Let me-
but y'all
I'm
didn't
not going to rip
finish.
on Alan. I'm not going to rip on you too much, but
I'm not ripping on y'all, but they had Nick
Yeah.
Chubb, Sony Michel, and the best defense in the nation,
Yes.
led by Roquan Smith, the
Yep.
best linebacker in the nation. Yeah, man. He all he had to do was not lose a game.
plus the
Yeah.
receivers that he had with Mecole Hardman and Riley Ridley, and you had those guys. They were that good that literally he could throw the ball up, and if he placed it just right, his receivers were like, "I can't miss this," you know.
Well, that's the
Okay.
biggest difference, man, between great quarterbacks and good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Good quarterbacks can manage to not lose you a game. Great quarterbacks will win you a game. And he
Right.
was not a great quarterback.
Right. Okay, I must have worded it wrong, but who was carried more, LSU in 2019 by Joe Brady or UGA in 2017 with Chubb and Michelle?
Ooh.
I think Chubb Michelle carried more. Because you got to think they had Jamar Chase and everybody else on the LSU team.
Yeah.
They had a
Jefferson
great
was
system.
great too.
I think
Justin
Joe Burrow's not that good. I think his receivers he was throwing out was better, in my opinion.
I don't think Burrow is as bad as people are making him out to
Not
be
at all.
right
I mean,
now, honestly.
He
I
looked
feel like
great for
he's
Cincinnati
a
last
little
year.
underrated. But I also don't think he's what he was in 19 unless he has the right guy there leading him.
In my mind, if he doesn't have 5-star wide receivers, he can't. He's not as good as he was in 2019.
So Squid.
I
might be
I think he's Jake Fromm. Where
No.
no, but hear me out. He's
All right.
he's like Jake Fromm in a way where he has to have best of the best wide receivers.
All right. What if I was to tell you he had the worst wide receiver core in the NFL last year and still looked pretty damn good?
It's true.
No.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Who do the Bengals have on offense that he can throw the ball to?
No one.
last
AJ
year they had
Green.
Oh,
AJ Green's not really.
AJ
working.
Green was hurt 90% of the season last year.
Well, yeah. I mean, still,
I didn't even know he was at Bengals.
That's what I'm saying. Well, he was. He's not anymore. He's a Cardinal now. But yeah, I mean, they were the worst receiving core in the NFL, and he still looked good.
You think? Do you think it's as bad for Mac Jones? Like, do you think he needs a team to carry him
Absolutely.
as much as Burrow does?
Absolutely. Mac Jones had like 4 amazing wide receivers to throw it to.
I agree with you on that one. And here's all right. So I got both sides on that one. I agree with you, Alan. If you look at last year, Mac Jones, he had receivers wide open all down the field.
Exactly.
But at the same time, let's look at it from an NFL standpoint.
Yep.
He's better than Cam is right now.
Facts.
So who else is going to play for the Patriots?
And you got to think, I don't care who you got throwing the ball to. I mean, they got a couple guys still over there. I mean, I know they've lost Gronk and Amendola in recent years. I think they still got like Hogan or whoever. But anyways,
Edelman
Bill
just retired.
Belichick coaching Mac Jones to continue his football career will be the best thing for him. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree.
If they get him weapons.
Right.
If not, then he's just a sitting duck.
They got a couple guys, but I don't know if these guys are really worth. I'm not going to try to discredit them, but I really feel like they could do a little bit better. You know.
Now, if the argument was who's better, Mac Jones or Burrow, I'm going with Burrow.
Here's what I have with From, Burrow, and Mac Jones have all in common. They need elite people. Like you can put Stetson Bennett in there as Mac Jones, and he looks like an elite quarterback, like a Trevor Lawrence type quarterback. With Najee Harris, Waddle, and all them from last season.
I don't know. Does he have 5'11" offensive lineman that you can throw it over?
No, other than that.
Like I agree. I see what you're saying. You could put JT Daniels in that offensive from last year for Alabama, and he's going to win a natty. Like I get what you're saying.
Right. You could put whoever Vandy's quarterback is and make him look elite. You could put Sarah Fuller in there.
That was pretty good. So put Sarah Fuller up in there. Yeah.
I wonder who's taller, her, Stetson.
The bet says Burrow can extend plays and Jones and Froms cannot. I might agree. Yeah,
I can some plays I can see.
Well, I mean, just look at the style of quarterback. I mean, Mac Jones and Fromm are traditional pocket precision quarterbacks. Burrow can move out of the pocket, extend plays with his legs, and make throws on the run. The other two can't.
Right.
See, that's where it comes into. That's a problem. Like I have nothing. I don't think being if you're a system quarterback and you just need that kind of coach or scheme, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you also got to be able to do, like you just said, Burrow can move and extend plays. You can't just stand there in the pocket all the time.
No, those quarterback days are over. I mean, I think the best pocket.
We need more mobile guys.
Last 20 years just retired, and that was Breeze.
Yeah.
I want to go back a few minutes ago and ask between trenches why you think Gunnar Stockton will start next season over Brock Vandagriff.
He's got better attributes, man. He's got a better arm. He moves a little. They both move pretty quick. But if you watch the game, did you watch the game between him and Brock last year?
Yeah.
Dude, he picked that defense apart. Like he can read defenses. He can lead his receivers. Like that's something I haven't seen out of Brock yet. Brock's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason he's got 5 stars. But main reason I'm giving it to Gunnar is Gunnar can lead his receivers into the route.
Wait. You said next year, as in 22, not 21.
Correct.
You guys still got Daniels.
Next year, the orders. This year coming up.
Daniels. I got you.
JT Daniels, then Carson Beck, and then Brock. That's going to be your top 3. I guarantee it.
Right.
Yeah.
I disagree with second and third, but
well, you got to think, man. It goes back to the whole Jake Fromm versus Justin Fields thing. Carson Beck has a year and a half of that system under his belt, and it showed in the spring game. Carson was number 2,
but he has no game experience.
Neither does Brock.
Good point. But I see where you're going with that, though. I just disagree. I say,
hey man, look, man. Did you watch Carson in high school?
No. He's
no slouch, dude. He was a 4-star for a reason. Like that's one thing that I'm not liking out of I'm so glad Kirby's recruiting so high, but I keep hearing a lot of, well, this guy's a 5-star. Yeah, okay. I get that, man, but don't let that 1-star difference fool you, man. The quarterback's gonna be better just based on talent.
Right.
And it might not have shown in his, whichever. You could drop a star just depending on where you played in high school. Can drop you on a star.
Right.
But Gunner, yeah, rewatch Gunner's highlights and you tell me if Brock can beat him out. I think Brock's great. I think we're going to be in great hands either way. My vote's for Gunner.
Okay, but what if Brock wait, what is Stetson? Is he a sophomore?
Stetson Bennett?
Yeah.
Just pretend he don't exist.
Yeah, he don't really, but I wonder what is he?
I think he's like a junior, maybe a senior this year.
Okay, so what?
You forget, man, he went to like JUCOs and stuff before and then came back to Georgia as a walk-on.
Okay, so he was a junior, so he's a senior this year.
He could be a junior this year. It's one of the two. Look, man, the best case scenario for Georgia, because one of these three quarterbacks is leaving, Brock, Gunner, and Carson. Our best case scenario is Carson leaves. And it's nothing against Carson. Like I said, Carson's a great quarterback. But as far as longevity, you're going to have two guys, one with one, a freshman and sophomore. You want that.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're both explosives. I don't want Georgia to have to play against either one of those guys on another school.
Right. But in that case, if Brock's third, he's leaving because Carson.
Not necessarily. It's a learning year. He could be switched to second by the end of the year. I'm just saying at the start of the year, Brock's going to be third string because he's not familiar with the playbook. He has no experience. Carson's at least been on that field. Yes, all he did was hand the ball off, but he at least has experience.
But but Carson, God forbid JT Daniels goes down. Carson Bennett gets to go out there.
Right. And then guess what happens? Same thing that happened this year. If he's not working out, give Brock a shot and Brock can prove himself.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're going with that now.
Like, I'm not saying Brock's not going to play it all this year. I mean, there's a good chance. Like you said, if JT goes down, it's a fight between Carson and Brock.
Right.
But Carson's going to get that first shot.
All right. Now, where will
think of Brock at Stetson last year and think of Carson Beck as good God, what was the kid's name? He played half of the Arkansas game and looked terrible, and then he left this year.
John Mathis?
Mathis, thank you.
Yeah. What's up, D4?
What's up?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing great.
Good.
What's up, Trenches?
Not much, man. Just over here, just bashing tall guys in Texas.
God dang. Good thing I'm 5'4" and an Oklahoma fan. Live in a trailer park, and
Yeah.
Got my dip can in the same pocket as my teeth.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, that Black Buffalo is no joke.
I'm about to get
If you're like, I got it, and it's cut me down tremendously on because it's it's a tobacco alternative, so it's a good way to stop quitting.
I stay away from that stuff.
Yeah,
Smart.
Yeah.
Good for y'all.
definitely smart. Definitely smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I legally can't because I'm underage. So.
Man, when I was your age.
Back
I
in
think I
my
had my
day.
first book at like 11 fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Back about it.
Oh,
How's your,
D4's here.
Yeah.
Man,
How's the AAA show going?
It's going, man.
Yeah.
We're trying to work out all the kinks and everything before football season rolls around, trying to make it a little funnier.
Yeah.
Little, little less straightforward. I mean, we give a lot of detail and stuff like that, but it's all about learning.
Sea Dog's
It's a cool setup, man.
Sea Dog's doing the Pac-12, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Don't listen to Sea Dog in the Pac-12. He'll try to convince you that the best team in the Pac-12 is Georgia Tech.
Yeah, as long as he gets the worst conference in the Power 5, that's good.
Yeah, I pissed him off the other day. Sea Dog was doing a live stream. I was like, oh, man, the best host for the worst team. He gave
I
me
think
the
I
finger.
saw where you typed that too.
He gave me the finger.
Ah, I was laughing so hard.
You should have said that for
Oh.
Celine, but
Celine?
yeah.
Oh, hell no. I ain't getting yelled at by that man. I live in the same state as that guy. I don't want to see him.
Right.
Monday driver.
I want to get me one of them shirts.
Yeah, man, dude. Big Dog Brett's got some cool stuff. I think he's got some women's leggings too. If you want to rock that.
I mean, did you see what I wore to the Salt Olympics?
No.
No.
Oh yeah. I did.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I know what Lou wore.
Oh man, I had some shorts on that make women jealous.
Oh god.
Ballard, did you see Kevin's comment?
Let me see. Oh crap! Hold on, I can't show it. Here we go. So Ballard Sports Media took over for chat. Exactly. I'm filling in.
Hangout stream.
Ballard should be
Right.
the new late night streamer.
I could be, but once the fall kicks off, I'm actually going to school in person. I'm gonna need some sleep, so I can't be doing this too long.
Well, I'm gonna yell at Chess, man. Because he was texting me earlier, and I was like, "Yeah, I might do a stream tonight to play out on StreamYard and see who wants to join." He's like, "All right, we'll do it at 10." I was like, "All right, fine, we'll do it at 9." 10 o'clock rolls around. Now one person under that thing. I was like, "Chess, you son of a!" So I just clicked off and came over here.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have texted me.
Oh no, I'm glad I came over here, man. I didn't know Ballard was doing one.
Yeah, I didn't know Ballard was doing one until Pete started talking about it.
Thanks, Pete, if you're watching.
I should have got that notification like I put it, but I didn't get one.
Gotta hit the bell, man. Hit the bell.
So have they told you yet, Ballard, what your job requirement's going to be
On what?
at the theater? Like, you gonna be working like the stand? You gonna be doing tickets?
Oh, I don't. I think it'll be cleanup to start out, from what I heard, but we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Man, you would have hated me then, because there was tons of times where I could not get a cup.
Uh-oh.
So I'd left a little bit of spit puddles, and I'm like, all right, see you later, AMC. I'll talk to y'all.
I imagine.
Ballard boss at AMC. That's cool.
Imagine Ballard does become boss at AMC.
Shit, we all better all get free movies.
Facts. We might have to drive just to Alabama to get a free ticket, free movies.
Gator Snaggletooth called it and made an ass of himself. The dumbass Gator fan. Facts.
Oh, did you know that Dan Moore was also considered for Kirby's spot before he got
There
there?
ain't no way that I hired that man.
Oh no, but he was considered. Kirby and Mullen were the most considered people.
Look, man, there was a lot of people considered, but everyone kind of knew if Kirby wanted that job, he was getting that job.
That was obvious. Mullen
Yeah.
was also getting concerned or being considered.
I don't give Mullen 2 more years in Florida.
He
I
doesn't
give him
get
a
this
2.5.
year. I think he gets.
Actually, I give him this year, and it's. I mean, he seems like he's a nice guy, and I'm sure he could coach somewhere. But my
Ballard,
goodness, has he been a
Ballard,
clown with the media or what?
Ballard, here's your quote from Luke. Nice guys finish last.
Right. Nice guys finished last.
But
That's
yeah,
it.
I say when Florida loses to Georgia, he's gone this year.
He's done pissed off the athletic director too many times. I mean, go back to the whole Texas A&M game, and we need to start pumping in crowds. And then the next week they get COVID, and like you can tell the whole AD department is getting kind of sick of Mullen.
Right.
I don't think losing to Georgia is going to cost anybody their job this year.
No.
They're loaded. You know.
Well, yeah.
Ballard
think
is
it'll
lost
cost
at
Saban his
AMC.
job.
I mean, Mullen has only beaten Georgia once since he got there.
Well, I mean that's just like going to the ACC and losing to Clemson. Okay,
Yeah.
You know it is what it is.
Well, that's Clemson.
But
They dominate that entire conference.
without the national championships, Georgia's in that top 5 every year conversation, though.
Yeah, good point.
That's what drives me crazy
crap.
when I hear Georgia fans. If we don't win a natty this year, Kirby's got to go. What are you talking about? Replace him
No,
with who?
Sixers won tonight. Game 7's happening.
This
If
is
they
the most
fire Kirby, if he doesn't win the 90 this year and they fire him, that's the most stupid decision in the world.
He's not getting fired. You just got dumb fans.
This is the most
Right.
relevant Georgia's been since the 1980s.
Yep.
Period.
This is the least relevant Texas has been.
No, that's not true.
I don't know. Georgia was pretty relevant back in 2012.
And 2017.
Yeah, right?
Well, I mean, that counts. That's the Kirby Smart era.
Y'all, be real. You guys miss Aaron Murray at times.
Oh, I loved him. That's my favorite quarterback we've had.
The best you've had. The best you've ever recruited or anything. I mean,
Like, look, Matt Stafford's great, but as far as college careers, Murray was the guy.
Striker, how does it feel to have an
Young
irrelevant
players.
team smash your ass in a Sugar Bowl?
Wait, what did
Huh?
you say?
How does it feel to have an irrelevant team smash your ass in a Sugar Bowl?
talking about Texas,
Yeah.
your Longhorns.
Who trashed Texas to bring D4's attitude out?
Striker.
I don't know.
He said this is the most irrelevant Texas.
What's up, Jeff? Come on in here, buddy, if you want.
They're in the Big 12, but okay.
Yeah.
It don't matter where they're at.
Y'all are behind.
When we lost,
FCS.
What?
Texas is behind the team in the Big 12 that lost to an FCS team week 1 or 2, whenever it was. Or no, it wasn't FCS. It was a Group of 5.
You talking about the team that competed for the Big 12 championship?
Yeah, that
You
lost.
talking about the team? That
Alan. Everybody has. We lost to South Carolina 2 years ago. Don't get in this argument. Everybody has those losses.
Yeah.
I love this kid. It's all right.
Bama fans in 2019, though.
Good boy, son.
10-2? 10-2? Come on, son.
Striker's a good kid. Or Alan.
He is,
Whatever you
yeah.
want to call. I'll always call him Striker, but he's a good kid, man. I love the shit talk.
Nah, he's great.
J-Dub, what's up?
Just to fix Striker here.
Oh,
Iowa State lost to Louisiana because they allowed a punt to be returned for a touchdown and a kickoff to be returned for a touchdown. And in the last 10 years, I've never seen Iowa State at home. Of course, they were playing in front of nobody. It was a COVID game. I've never seen them so flat in my entire life in the last 10 years. If they had played them in any other game other than week 1, they'd have beat the hell out of them. Texas losing to Iowa State last year was not a bad mark on Texas. Iowa State's a good team.
Right.
Can I ask a question here? Jeff, I don't really know you that well.
Yeah.
Who's your team?
I'm a Bama grad, sir. All the way,
cool.
Roll
No,
Tide.
I didn't know. I was just seeing where you were at, man.
Yeah, Roll Tide. But you don't know me. I am a sideline photographer that does a lot of work for Iowa State football, Iowa State women's basketball. I also shoot the Iowa Cubs AAA baseball team and a bunch of other assignments. So that's
awesome.
where some people. That's where some people think of the Iowa State thing because I shoot Iowa State and some University of Iowa stuff. But that's
really
just
cool.
that's just my job.
Yeah.
My love is entirely for the Tide. I'm an
Nice.
'89 Bama grad.
Hey, that's a good year.
Okay,
Yeah, I forget
so,
about David Green. David Green was great.
okay, so it was Louisiana. I thought it was I thought it was like I don't know who I thought it was.
Well, it's Louisiana. It used to be called Louisiana Lafayette, but now they just call it Louisiana.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Raging Cajuns.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think they ended up. I think they might have gone like 10-2 or something. They ended up having a pretty good year, and that was a game Iowa State should have won. And I'm not making any excuses for the Cyclones. I mean, Louisiana came in, played a better game, and just beat the hell out of them. I mean,
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Jeff. Since you work with Iowa State, how long do you think they can hold on to that coach?
I'm going to say should I break it again, Ballard, like I did the other night on your stream?
Go ahead.
I really like Matt Campbell. I like his wife. I like his family. He's got 4 young kids. They live in a house across the street from where former Iowa State coach Dan McCarney used to live, in a real nice neighborhood. His roots are Mount Union and Toledo. He's a Midwest boy. He loves it here. But I have a sneaky suspicion that if Michigan lets Jim Harbaugh go, Campbell will leave for Ann Arbor at the end of the year.
It's a good spot.
I don't think this. I have no reason to think this, because I have talked to the man several times.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason. I don't have any inside information. I don't have anything like that. I just think that he won't leave Iowa State unless it's for another Midwestern team. I just think this is where he's from. It's where his wife is from. They like it up here. I mean, that's not to say, if somebody throws stupid money at you, stupid money. But I think he would prefer something like a Michigan, or if God forbid something would happen, let's say to Franklin and Penn State came up, something like that. That's what I think he would do.
So
I don't think he would.
So let's say Mullen just really craps the bed this year. They fire him. You don't think he'll go to Florida if they offer him the job?
Yeah.
You know what? I really don't. I don't think he has an interest.
Gotcha.
Going. I mean, like I say, you throw enough money at a guy, that can, that can change your interest. But it's just for nothing other than a gut feeling. I just think he's a Midwest guy, and that this is where he wants to stay.
All right.
He's a real. It's really interesting when you talk to Matt Campbell, you get him away, and you're not talking football. You're just sitting there talking to the guy. You're talking about, hey, have you played it? Like one time I talked to him, we spent 20 minutes talking about the 15th and 16th at Wakanda Country Club. So when you just talk to the guy, he's a really nice guy. I mean, you can understand why the recruits like him. I mean, he's real level-headed. He comes across as a really nice guy. I think he thinks he can do something here in Ames, and unless he gets what would be, I mean, I'm sure everybody in the back of their mind has got, I'm sure Kirby's smart, Georgia boy. That was his dream job. He was happy in Tuscaloosa. Right. He'd been with Saban for a long time, but he just could not say no to Georgia, Right. And Campbell might have one or two of those places in the back of his head. He might have, he and his wife may have sat in the living room and said, look, when these guys call, this is where we're going, But it's just a gut feeling that I think he stays here. But, I mean, it didn't surprise me when Kirby took the Georgia job. I mean, that's
no.
He couldn't say no to that. I mean, I was sad to lose him because I knew what the hell was going to happen. I knew he was going to go over there and start recruiting, and I'm like, shit. Now we're going to have to deal with the fucking Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And I was right. As long as Kirby's there, these people that are on Kirby's case, I don't get it. Look what the man's done in his first 5 years. How much happier can you be? I mean, do you want an Natty? Yeah, but I mean, short of that, how much happier can you be? I mean, holy cow.
Better first 5 years.
I'm with you. Ballard, why did the bet get blocked for 5 minutes?
He said Ames, Iowa, and he said Ballard, STFU. So that's probably why.
But no, I agree, man. I've heard a bunch of Georgia. We were talking about this earlier. That if you don't want a natty this year, get rid of Kirby. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Ain't nobody gonna do a better job than Kirby.
Kirby has a better first 5 years than Saban, too. So
okay. Kirby's in the spot. I see Kirby in the spot, even though he's been there 5 years already. So it's not exactly the same thing. But Saban going into 2008. Bama went 11-0. They lost to Florida in the SEC title game. Then they lost to Utah in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
when in a game they shouldn't have lost. But anyway, that's like saying, well, and I think, for my money, Bama had the best team in the country in 08. What would you have got rid of Saban? That's like saying I think Georgia's got probably top to bottom. They might have the best talent this year in the whole country. If they don't win it, look, it's hard to win it.
Right.
I mean, lots of things have to happen in your favor to win it. I mean, you got to have a lot of things go your way. It's not very often you just mud stomp everybody and win it.
Right.
I mean, you got to catch breaks along the way. Somebody's got to beat somebody else. You got to dodge injuries, or if you get a guy hurt, he's got to come back. I mean, lots of things have to happen. That's why he doesn't. I mean, Saban's won 6 of 12. Okay, hard to complain about that. But has he done it back to back? One time.
Yeah.
How many times has he gone undefeated? How many times has he gone undefeated with those 6 natties? Twice. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Somebody's going to get you. It's like I've been saying all year. I don't know who it'll be. I don't know if it'll be A&M. I don't know if it'll be LSU in a surprise. Will it be down on the plains? Will Ole Miss do it? Somebody's going to get them. They're just not going to run. They're not going to go undefeated. It just doesn't happen.
I hope the one team that doesn't do it is Ole Miss, because I want Georgia to beat Saban first.
Yeah, the problem with that is Kirby doesn't care as much as Lane Kiffin as far as it comes to beating Saban. Does he want to beat Saban? Absolutely. But he doesn't dream about it like Lane.
Yeah,
I agree, Trenches. I agree with you, Trenches. I think Kiffin is obsessed with beating him. Well, Kirby wants to do it, but his whole life isn't revolving around it.
Right.
Kirby wants a natty.
Right.
Lane Kiffin just wants to beat Saban. That's just how it works.
Right. Yeah. But personally, I want Georgia to beat Saban.
Kirby gets to Atlanta with no losses, and he loses to Saban. The Georgia fans are going to go crazy because this is the year we should have beat Georgia, or this is the year we should have beat. This was our year to beat Bama. But if you get to Atlanta undefeated and it's an undefeated Alabama you lose to, you're going to the playoffs.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And that's what matters. That's what matters. Hey, you want to win the SEC? Hell yes. But will you take second place in the SEC if that means a playoff spot? Hell yes.
I'll take a loss to Saban if he gives us a natty. That doesn't bother me one bit.
Yeah, and as a Bama fan, if you're telling me I'm going to get to Atlanta and it's going to be Georgia that beats us, but that's not going to stop us from getting into the playoffs, I'll take that too.
Yeah.
Just get me in the playoffs and give me a chance to win it.
Right.
But you ask
Kiffin, I want the SEC, but I want the natty more.
Right.
Right. That's like in 2017 when we had second and 26. At the moment, losing the Iron Bowl, not even winning our division, we didn't win the SEC. You know how nervous I was on Selection Sunday? And Jeff, I'm sure you were probably nervous too. But then we got in, we beat Clemson, and we won a title. And I looked back and I said, you know what? We lost to our rival. We didn't make it to Atlanta. We are not the SEC champs. But dang it, somehow, some way, we won a championship. And not only that, it was very special because, of course, Saban's had Brian.
Listen, Ballard, I'm going to tell you something here that not a lot of people know.
Okay.
And that is that I, Jeff Webster, the person you're listening to right now, made arrangements with the football gods to deliver two national championships.
Iowa State fan. I knew it.
Because here's why. Because I stood in the end zone when Jeff Woody scored in overtime in 2011.
Yep.
And Iowa State beat number 2 Oklahoma State and set up the LSU rematch in the BCS.
Oh, okay.
And I was in Kinnick Stadium when Iowa whooped the shit out of Ohio State. And that loss is why Alabama got in 2017 and ended up winning the national championship. So right. Bama fans owe Iowa State for 2011, and they owe Iowa for 2017. It's just like I said, you have to have help along the way. You never know where it's going to come from.
Well, like I told Ballard earlier, you also got to thank Georgia for 2017 national championship, because if we wouldn't have beat Auburn that bad in the SEC, y'all wouldn't have got in either.
Oh, yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah, that's very fair. Georgia had to clobber Auburn, and they did. And I was even, you know what? Even if the outcome of that game had not put Bama in the playoffs, and like doesn't matter if Georgia wins by 50, I still wanted you to win by 50, because there's no scenario that you can create using the words of the English language that would describe how much I want Auburn to suffer. It's not possible.
I got 3 teams I feel that way about, and that's Auburn, Florida, and not even an SEC team, Oklahoma. If Oklahoma gets destroyed every week, I laugh.
Yeah, fucking Oklahoma, motherfuckers.
I mean, I try to consider myself a Christian man, and sometimes I think about going to confession, saying, "Father, forgive me," because I do have evil thoughts when it comes to Auburn. I mean, there's just no suffering. I mean, I'd fucking root for Al Qaeda over Auburn.
God, dog.
Well, hey, Jeff, why do you think there's church on Sundays for the shit that we say on Saturday?
Right?
That's right. There you go.
Yeah. I was gonna bring this up. Actually, now that I think about it, in 2017, if you remember, we really have Ohio State to thank, because they knocked out Wisconsin, who almost got the 4th spot. If they win the Big Ten.
Well, that just proves what Jeff was saying, man. It doesn't matter how stacked your team is. A lot of chips have to fall into place for you to win that now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, okay. All right. You had the BCS scenario, so Bama runs the table in 09. Okay.
Yeah.
You had what happened last year with Bama, was just nobody was going to beat them. Okay.
Our year.
All right. But the other four, help had to happen.
Right.
You know, and Clemson's needed help. You know, even LSU in 2019, they needed Tua to throw a pick 6. They got it. You know, you got to have somebody's got to help you along the way. It's not very often that you're 95 Nebraska.
Right.
That you're 2009 Alabama. It just doesn't happen that way.
Try.
I agree with LW.
There's just too many variables.
I know you guys hate Auburn, but
Yeah.
try being Auburn, being undefeated in 2004, undefeated in the SEC champions, and not getting into the BCS game over a one-loss Oklahoma team that got blew out by Kansas State.
I'm glad that happened.
You're absolutely right on that, D4. That was
highway robbery.
I can't admit it publicly, but I'm like Fonzie. I was maybe not completely correct. I can't make myself say it, but I might agree. Think you might have a point.
I read this book one time that I got for Christmas years ago, called "The Storm and the Tide" by Lars Anderson. I'm not sure if anyone's heard about it, but it talks about the 2011 April 27th tornado in Tuscaloosa. But anyways, it also talks about, you know, how it impacted Saban and the program. But they got this one specific chapter talking about the Iron Bowl rivalry, and it talked about the and there was a joke in it where like Harvey had like a shirt that said, "If you saw me in a turban and sandals, that means Auburn's playing Iraq, and I'm going there to for Iraq." I don't know. I mean, talking about how like hate for Auburn and all that, but
I will say this though. I will say this: that tornado hit on April 27th. On April 28th, buses rolled into Tuscaloosa, and on those buses were the Auburn football team and the Mississippi State football team. And on the 29th, Georgia came over.
Everyone came to
and that right there
to help.
That's when you okay. Yeah.
Rivalries
That's when
aside, let's
mad
help them
respect
out.
there. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
mad respect there. Yep.
Oh, look, I got respect for fans and everything. I mean, look, if Auburn, you'd love to laugh at them, and you damn sure don't want to lose to them. But I mean, I don't hate the fans.
I do.
Look, my
I
5
don't
years.
have. I do not have hatred for the fans or the player. I really more so just hate seeing the logo, what they have. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like the brand.
Now, that
There's
is,
some fan bases though you just can't listen to. Like if you watch Sea Dogs,
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
yeah, Sea Dog, yeah.
Look,
no, Sea
my
Dog's
5
awful.
years. My 5 years in Tuscaloosa, I
Mhm.
never had as much as I loved giving them shit, and we went back and forth. And when I was there, we were 3-2 in the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
And two went. We beat Bo Jackson in his junior and senior year.
Yeah, man.
And that was sweet. But Auburn fans, as far as like, I'm actually seriously considering taking an axe handle to your head. Never had that problem with them. Never had that problem with Tennessee fans. But when I was in Tennessee, I was treated well. When we went over to Athens, the Georgia fans were fucking fabulous to us. That was
Yeah.
great. Never had a problem with that. Penn State fans came down to Tuscaloosa. They were like our brothers.
Yeah,
Texas
man.
A&M fans at that time, Texas A&M was a Big Eight or Southwest Conference team.
Mhm.
They came over and played in Birmingham. Their fans were great, but no excuse, no explanation, no forgiveness whatsoever for the fucking asshole fan base of the SEC, which is L fucking S fucking
Were they
U.
that bad back then?
Oh my God, hell yes.
Please go on. I gotta hear this.
They're the asshole fan base of the SEC.
Ooh, I disagree.
I thought it was Ole Miss, but okay.
You disagree? Do you disagree, Trenches?
I do disagree.
Please
I think
explain
it's
this.
also because of the team you root for, man. I haven't met any fans worse for, and I live in the state, Florida. Florida's the worst fan base I've ever met in my
Yeah,
life.
see, because I never really the 5 years that I was in Tuscaloosa, we only played Florida twice,
Yeah.
and I never really interacted with any of their fans.
Come to
So-
a cocktail party. You'll have people screaming at
Oh,
you.
I'm sure.
Georgia,
I'm
and I'm
sure.
like, dude, I'm just walking.
I've only bumped into 4 different team fan bases. Alabama's, Auburn's, Georgia's, Arkansas's. Well, Arkansas is the worst, in my opinion. From the ones I've been to.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Florida's always
I
been
always
a thorn in
took
my.
it. I always took it when they have freshman initiation in Tuscaloosa. The first night you're there, they send you over to Bryant Denny, and all the incoming freshmen go to Bryant Denny. The band comes out. You learn the fight song. You learn some of the cheers, and then the football coach will come out and talk to you. And Ray Perkins came out. Ray Perkins said, "It is now. Keep in mind that this is Bama won the title in 78, 79, but this is 84, so it's 5 years from a title, and they're not
Yeah.
going to win one to 92. So we're in the middle of nothing happening, okay?" But he said, "This is Title Town." He said, "And when people come here, I want you and our football team wants you to be passionate, be loud, go crazy,
Mhm.
but treat the other people like you treat your brother and your sister. Because
Right.
when you go to Oxford, when you go to Knoxville, when you go to Athens, when you go to, say, we got a non-conference game and we're going to go to Columbia, which at that time would have been non-conference, going to South Carolina.
Yep.
That's how you want to be treated. Don't be the guy. Don't be the student. That's the reason somebody goes back to their campus and says those Alabama fans are jerks. Don't let you be that person. So I always remembered that. And I always thought, it's not that I'm not going to give the other guys a hard time, but good-natured, when they come to Tuscaloosa, I never wanted somebody to feel like an ad. I was like, "Hey, welcome to Tuscaloosa. I hope you enjoy yourself here. Hope we beat you, let's have a good time.
This is the problem I have with Oklahoma and their fans. The entire left side of my family are fucking Oklahoma fans. My dad played defensive back at Oklahoma in the mid '80s.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know, he wasn't a starter. He wasn't like, I think he like was on special teams a couple, like nothing like that. But his entire family lived in Oklahoma, and I became a Texas fan. So every time I'm around them,
Oh
it's
man,
kind of
D4.
That must suck.
D4. He's like, yeah, they, and I'm sure they look at you like you're the black sheep. You know.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Khaled, the
stay,
comment section needs help.
Especially
What
if it's
happened?
Dave.
I don't know.
What?
The bet counting down says he's about to do something.
Well, they
Oh,
both are sped, so
save Chris Crimson. Oh, he's gonna time him out. I bet.
wait, did that have
Let him
a
have
mod
it.
still?
Let him have it. Sacrifice Crimson. Sorry.
Wait,
Oh.
that has a mod still?
I don't know. I'll have to check. Hold on.
No, because I'm glad.
Dang, dude. Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, you hear? They rescheduled it from Hell in a Cell to today.
Yeah. Anybody else in here been watching like WWE or whatever?
Yeah, that's me.
I'm watching this Terrence Mann dude from the LA Clippers absolutely rip apart the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
They just ruined that pay per view.
The Jazz had one of my all-time least favorite players ever,
Karl Malone.
Karl Malone. I couldn't stand that guy.
You didn't like the mailman?
No,
Why's that?
I thought he was a cheap shot artist. Every time he jumped, he kicked up his left leg.
Yeah.
You know, he had a cheap ass move. He'd have done that shit against Moses Malone or Tree Rollins or some of those guys that they've been playing when he was around. He'd have been laying on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting into WWE. My grandparents will watch like SmackDown and all that, Raw. So I've been watching it with them, and it's just it's all staged. You know, all the drama and when they talk before they get in the ring and all that, and it's not real. It's sports entertainment, is what it is, and it's God.
It's
It
not as
just
good as
puts
it
a
used to
smile
be.
on my face.
It's not as good as it used to be with Stone Cold, The Rock, and all of them. Right now, it's not as good as it used to be, especially
Right.
Raw.
First time I ever went to one of those in person.
Mhm.
They had a Monday Night Raw at Hilton Coliseum in Ames in '92, and I got press credentials, so I was in the back, and I got to talk to some of the guys and meet some of the people just briefly. They're
Yeah.
all huge. They're all huge as hell.
Oh
And
yeah,
it was kind of funny because one of the big beefs that was going on at that time was this supposed feud between Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. Okay.
Okay.
So these were the two guys that were going to have this big fight, okay, on Monday Night Raw, okay?
right.
And we're standing in the back, and one of the I don't know what you want to call them, like the planners, the event planners or whatever, something like that. He's having a stroke because they had been in Cedar Rapids or someplace like that on Sunday night, and Benoit and Jericho, who are fighting on television, were driving to Ames together. They were sharing an SUV, Jericho's SUV or Benoit's SUV, and it broke down. So they had to send a guy down the interstate to go pick them up. So these two guys are going to go on TV tonight and beat the hell out of each other. They're actually driving to the venue together.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Triple H. I liked Triple H. Stone Cold, I didn't get to see Stone Cold, but Triple H I got to meet him, shake his hand, talk to him briefly. Huge dude, 6'5", great big dude. And it's all funny when you see it in person, especially if you see it at a televised event, because that night the final match was Stone Cold versus I don't remember who it was, and Stone Cold beat the guy up. But Triple H come out of the crowd. He jumped out of the crowd. He was hiding in the crowd. And he come out of the crowd. He took the sledgehammer and he beat up Austin. And that was the end of the telecast. Okay.
Okay.
So the crowd at Hilton Coliseum sees Triple H beat up Austin, and that's what the audience watching at home sees. Okay. Then the house lights come on. They turn all the house lights on in the stadium, which lets you know that the broadcast is over. Okay.
Yeah.
Once the house lights come on, suddenly Austin makes a miraculous recovery, beats up Triple H, and then smashes the beers together and everything. And so the crowd got to see Austin, even though it wasn't live. It wasn't live. The audience at home saw Austin get beat up, but the crowd and the crowd at Hilton Coliseum got to see Austin win. And the guys in the back told me, they said the crowd never leaves a live event on a heel victory. We want the crowd leaving happy and in a good mood.
Right. I was watching. Keep going, Jeff.
So that's why. I mean, they sent him out with it's all. These guys know what they're doing, man.
Right. I was watching. I went to this. It was a WrestleMania tour. I went to one of them, and there was a Royal Rumble pay-per-view coming up. So we were watching the 3-on-3 Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and some other guy versus 3 other people. The face team won, and then Roman Reigns and the other guy walks away, and then that's the pay-per-view or the place where Seth Rollins announced he was going to the Royal Rumble. Was on that day, on that thing. So I got to see someone live announce they're going to the Royal Rumble. So I'm glad I saw that.
What was funny was it's too bad. It's too bad D4 is not in here anymore, because about 15 minutes before they go live, they come out and they announce to the crowd what the matches are going to be, and blah blah blah. And if we see any signs that have profanity, you're going to be your sign will be taken away, and you're going to be asked to leave. Blah blah blah, whatever. And then they announce Jerry the King Lawler, and he comes down. They play his music, and he comes down. And then good old JR gets introduced, and he comes down. Well, you know what JR's music is?
What?
JR's music is Boomer Sooner. So how do you think the crowd at Iowa State University's basketball arena reacted?
I'm sure they were pissed
when Boomer Sooner got played over the loudspeakers. Yeah. So JR got his ass booed all the way down the ramp.
Wait, is that his actual theme song, or were they just trolling the Iowa State?
No, that's what they play for him wherever he's at. Well, it doesn't matter where he's at. It just happened to be that night it was in Ames, and which was not the place to play Boomer Sooner. I thought it was funny.
Okay, so they weren't trolling Iowa State. All right.
No, it wasn't an intentional troll. It was just that was his music, and it just
Yeah, because sometimes they would
they
take a
weren't doing
shot at
it just to get the crowd. No.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll take a shot at the fans and call and say that their rival is better. Sometimes I thought when you said that
would be like if you had a wrestling event at Georgia's on Georgia's campus, and the announcer was an Alabama alum, and he walked out and they played Yay Alabama. What do you think? How do you think the Bulldog fan? How do you think that crowd's going to react?
They were pissed.
Yeah,
if they heard Yay Alabama being played over the speakers in Athens. Oh my God, they'd riot. Yeah.
Because I remember they had a event in Alabama like the day after they lost in an Natty, and then they were all that entire episode they were taking shots at Alabama losing the entire day. So or the entire show. So.
The only problem we had when I was in Athens was we won in the last second on a Mike Shula touchdown pass to Al Bell. We won 16-13 with like 50 seconds left. And when the game was over, we sang Rammer Jammer. Well, where I was sitting, well, we were the immediate people around us was all Georgia people. We were just a small little rectangle of Bama students sitting in the north end zone. But we sang Rammer Jammer at the top of our voice, and that did not sit well.
Booze all across the stand, probably.
Yeah. But when we walked out of the stadium, we were all, roll tide and we were roll tiding each other, and we all had our crimson on and everything, and nobody gave us any shit. People said, "Oh, you lucky bastards," or what, something like that. But there was no, I never felt like we were in any danger or anything. I mean, we were treated well the whole time we were there.
Yeah, I think most fan bases don't, as far as I know, they're not that bad unless they're unless they haven't won a natty in like 400 years or something like that.
I've had people up here that, they know I'm a Bama alum, and obviously they know I'm, crazy for the Tide. They'll ask me, what about other schools in the SEC. I never have anything negative to say about Georgia ever.
Right.
I never had any personal bad experience with Georgia. I've got respect for the program. If I'm going to trash somebody, it's going to be Auburn and LSU. It ain't going to be Georgia.
Right.
Plus, we beat the shit out of LSU 55-17.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean,
that's
yeah, all right, yeah.
Most
of the time, Georgia is giving us a hard time.
Right.
So 17 and 18 were nice wins over Georgia, but they weren't 55-17. They were like, oh my God, I'm fucking pulling my hair out.
I don't. Unless you're Auburn.
That's how you want it to be. That's how I want it to be. I like it. It's more fun when your team wins a game like that than it is when they just bomb somebody. Unless that somebody that you're bombing is your hate. Like, I'm sure Trenches would not mind at all if Georgia put a 30-pointer on Florida. Right. Not gonna bomb.
Now, my dad's an Auburn fan, so when we beat Auburn 27.
Hold on.
Your dad's an Auburn fan? I'm just kidding. I made a new stinger. I wanted to use it. There. Continue on.
So my dad's an Auburn fan, and so when we didn't go to that game, sadly, because of COVID and all, but when we beat Auburn 27-6, my dad hated me for like 3 weeks because of how much trash talk I was talking.
Yeah,
it was fun beating them by like 20 something.
Yeah.
I had some friends from Illinois come down and spend spring break with me one year. I think it was my junior year. And they come to Tuscaloosa and spent like 4 or 5 days on spring break. We were not on spring break. They were, but they came down and partied. They got to go all over campus. We went out to the bars and everything. And we went up to Birmingham. I had to get gas. I told this story before. We pulled into a Sinclair station, and I get out, and I'm getting ready to put the gas nozzle in the car, and I just hung it back up, and I waved at the guy inside when he's, to make sure that he realized I hadn't got any gas, and he nodded at me. And I got in, and I drove down the street. And my buddies Bill and Francis are like, "What the fuck's up with that?
Right.
Was the pump broken or something?" And I said, "No." I said, "Didn't you see it?" And they said, "What?" I said, "You didn't see the door?" I said, "What door?" I said, "The door going into the gas station. It had a big fucking Auburn poster right in the middle of the door." I So I ain't trading here. I went down to the street. I went to the fucking 76 and had a big fucking A with Big Al crawling through the A. I went down there and rolled Tide. I bought my gas down there. I said, that's how this works. And he said, you're fucking crazy. You're crazy. I said, you know why that Auburn poster was in that door? They didn't want an Alabama fan doing business there. That's how it is.
I mean, you know that for sure, but yeah, I get what you're saying, though.
I mean, you don't like Georgia Tech, right? Georgia Tech, you hate Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had a gas station with a Georgia Tech bunch of Georgia Tech shit all over it, and right across the street you had one that had UGA and all that stuff, where are you going to trade?
Obviously, UGA.
Oh, there you go. Same thing. I just remember Athens. We ate at some ass-kicking barbecue joint that was right on the corner downtown.
Was
and it was really, one? It was in Athens. It was really weird. The parking lot was really weird because it was like where the front of the store would be.
Right.
Was actually the parking lot. The store was like set back off the corner. I can't remember the name of it, but it was right downtown in Athens, and it was a great barbecue joint. And when we walked in there, they had a big ass fucking poster of REM. All the REM guys had autographed this poster that was hanging behind the cash register.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the place, but it was great.
Awesome. Damn clock.
I can't believe. I think it was the year before Georgia. Wait, was it the year before? I don't know, but I remember either a year or two before Georgia won that or went to the Natty. Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky, all three lost to the ACC team in that week 6, whatever it was, game, rivalry week. I'm saying random stuff now.
Ballard, did you eat at Ramajama when you were in Tuscaloosa?
I'm sorry.
Did you eat at Ramajama when you were in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, that's where the please tell me I still have it on.
Hello.
That's where this was. I got the national championship burger right there. It had like maybe 3 patties. They put 2 buns in the middle, of course, one on top, one on the bottom. Onion rings were on top. I took a couple off. I think there were like 2 or 3 in total. Dude, it might not look like much in the picture, but in person, dude.
The names of the sandwiches at that place.
At least you could talk. My mic's not working.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
I feel bad, Trenches. I feel like I'm hogging the conversation. I was hoping to hear from you, but it's like I don't see the mute symbol on your thing, but it doesn't hear you.
His mic is messed up. What it looks like. When you give up on him. I bet he accidentally clicked the mute button on his mic. To bet.
I didn't eat at Ramajama very often when I was a student. Ballard.
Do you know what year it came out when they opened?
Oh, they've been there forever. we used to eat at a place called. It's not there anymore. In fact, the entire building is not there anymore. We used to eat at a place called the Sidetrack,
Mm-hmm.
and which is right on the railroad tracks.
No, because the mute button's not showing up on my shit.
There he is.
There he is.
We can hear you.
I don't know if you're talking now, but we could hear you before. Oh no.
No, I don't know. He's quiet again. I don't know. Maybe you should leave and then Ballard send him the link and let him come back in. Maybe that'll help.
I can always just drop it again in the chat.
You hear me? All right, cool.
Yeah, and then
Can you hear me now?
And then come back in.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
He left.
I'll
Y'all
drop the
remember-
link.
Y'all remember that live stream Chess did a few weeks ago where he was sliding down that slide?
Yeah,
Yeah, I made that a stinger on my channel now.
that's hilarious.
So every time Chess comes in, all you see is him sliding down before he starts talking.
Well, he didn't really slide. He kind of shuffled a little bit.
Right.
And his stomach got stuck. How do you? First of all, who slides sideways?
Yeah, I know.
You must be real fast. You gotta slide sideways. But I'm not at that point yet.
I do have to give credit to the manufacturers of the slide, though. It held his weight.
Oh yeah. So now I know that could handle mine.
Whoa, do we lose Trenches? Come back in, Trenches.
He just popped back in the back room. We got
All
you
right,
back.
can you hear me now?
We can
Yes.
hear you.
There we
Can you
go.
hear us?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right,
What?
cool. We're
How
good.
we hear you?
What?
Striker,
No.
shut up.
Listen, Ballard.
Listen. You listen.
What?
No, bet
Yeah.
you did not run me off, but that's cute that you thought so.
Crimson Brave.
Oh no, he's
Oh yeah.
My
Oh,
man,
no.
where you been?
Man, you know exactly. Oh, never mind. You don't know where he's been.
Oh, Crimson
hell
Brave
is
making a
Crimson
rare
Brave?
appearance.
I was gonna make a joke, but I haven't been.
I'm trying
Can
to
y'all
think
still
who's
hear me?
streaming.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, we can still
Okay,
hear you.
because I
Trenches.
haven't heard Crimson Brave yet. I think he's muted. Yeah.
What's up, Crimson?
He's muted again.
What's up,
There we
man?
go.
There he is. What's up?
What's up, man?
Now is that D4 in disguise?
Nah.
All right, yeah, it ain't.
No, that's CB.
No, it's him. It's Crimson.
I don't know. Ballard's not in on it too.
Rare appearance, Crimson Brave.
Yeah, I know. It's probably like finding Bigfoot.
I'm trying to think of whose stream I was in the other. Were you in the stream the other night, Crimson, where they were a couple of Big Ten fans screaming and yelling about
Who?
show? How come the SEC teams don't ever come up north and play up north? To play up here when it's cold. Blah 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 blah. That's the most cockamamie bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
Why the hell don't
Listen.
they come down south? Is it too
Listen.
hot for 'em?
Listen,
You know?
listen.
Probably.
Listen,
I grew up in Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah.
I've lived in Des Moines, Iowa, or the immediate area since 1990. Okay.
Yeah.
They're talking about cold, like, boy, I'd love to see Alabama, Georgia. I'd love to see LSU come up here when it's 10 degrees and it's snowing or whatever. You know when those games happen? Never.
Right.
When it gets that cold, it's December and January. The college season is already over.
Right.
There are no Big 10 or Big 12 games played. I don't think I have all these 30 years I've been on the sideline shooting Big 10 and Big 12 football.
Right.
I can count on two hands the times that I was actually standing in snow. It doesn't happen. The college season ends until you get to the bowls, which are all played in warm weather. The college season ends in November, early December. When it gets butt-ass cold and you're talking about the NFL games where, the Dolphins don't want to come play up here or the Falcons don't want to come and play up here, that's the third week of December. Colleges ain't playing up there anyway. So this argument that they don't, that the SEC schools don't want to come up there, it's bullshit.
Right. I agree.
You want to what? Come up and play in November when it's 45? That's not cold.
Trenton says, "Bet, come done it yourself." Huh?
Okay.
This comment section needs help,
I know it does.
including Trenches. Well, I mean, 2 out of 3 here are the most sped people I've ever seen. Bet and bet.
Mike Vick beat the Packers in Green Bay. Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vick.
I know.
Mike Vick would beat Chess in a race with his wheelchair going 1 mile per hour.
Colorado came to Ames. 99, 2000, right around there.
Hey, Trenches.
And it was the end of November. It was the last game of the year. See you, Trenches, man. It was great talking to you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was the last game of the year, and it was Saturday after Thanksgiving, and it was about, I don't know, the wind chill might have been 5-10 degrees, and it snowed like a mother.
Yeah, I got you.
That's the only time I can think of where there was really weather, and it was Iowa State and Colorado, both of whom are used to colds. I mean, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You don't get games like that. In the NFL, you do. In college, you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, after games, how many times do you catch yourself on TV during those Iowa and Iowa State games?
I have no idea because I'm there. I'm not watching,
I know, but do you ever watch the games on TV afterwards, or?
Oh yeah, I've seen myself sometimes. Yeah. Especially if the ball comes by. I'll have friends up here that'll say, "Hey, I saw you, J-Dub," But it's just like, it's not like a close-up camera view and there's my face. It's like if you know what I look like and you know what I'm wearing and you know where I'm standing, you're like, oh yep, there's J-Dub.
Right. Because I have an uncle that works for medical doctor for Alabama during their football games and stuff. Yeah, Ballard. So I see them with him sometimes.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I suppose if I just had to guess, 2 or 3, probably a lot of times, but it's real fast. Like they'll kick the extra point. And so you'll see the photographer standing there, but it's like 2 seconds,
Right.
Yeah.
That's like me. That's like my uncle. He'll like be up there for like half a second.
Right. Now like basketball, if I'm a basketball, that's different because I'm underneath the basket. You see me a lot.
Yeah. I don't really. I think he does basketball, but I don't watch it, so I don't know. But so I don't try to find him. But I do try to find him in football.
I'm getting a call from a buddy. Ballard, I'm going to have to step out. I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, take your time, man.
So is Crimson Brave gonna be muted and just type in the chat? Type.
Yeah, man.
Trenches is still there.
Wait, so Ballard,
Hmm.
is Chess in YouTube jail now?
No,
I don't know.
no, because he got released 10 minutes later. Quickest YouTube jail time ever.
Oh, so he's not like banned from live streaming or nothing?
No,
I don't think so.
Oh.
he won his appeal. Unlike BVD.
I was about to say, well, I guess they're gonna, despite all the farts they be doing, they can share it all in the YouTube jail cell.
I love how he said he was going to do a stream at 8 p.m. It's 12 a.m. and he hasn't even started it. Well,
Funny thing is, I kept staying within like 6 to 3 range on that Kahoot.
yeah. Funny thing is,
I was on the chess at 445 at name.
I was doing your mom 69.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez, who is it? Who is it? 16? Who's 16 doing that as well? Saying that name as well.
Wait, what place were you in?
I was like
Gosh.
12 before Chess ended it.
Tat, you suck.
Shut up. Chess was being over. Chess made Squidtar rig it for him.
It was a little bit harder because if you're in the comment section, not StreamYard, like it's like a delay too.
That's called your fault.
Oh no, that's for everybody in the comments.
That's called your fault. You should have got there quicker. Type deal.
Yeah, well.
Rock and roll time.
No.
Rock and roll time. Do I die?
Since there's 2 Alabama fans in here, I wonder
You're
how.
outnumbered, son.
I know. I wonder how mad y'all would get if I started playing Rocky Top just for fun.
I'd ban you. And Crimson, I would have his permission to do so.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I hate Tennessee too, but I just want to see 2 Alabama fans watching. If I did do that. Nah, I'm probably play Auburn song if anything. At least Auburn song.
Doesn't change the fact you were still there with Kirby Smart on April 4th of 1968. Martin Luther King was shot. Striker.
What?
I say you were the one that was there with Kirby Smart on April 4th, 1968.
Oh yeah. I gave him bullets and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's the one who shot though. I just
Oh yeah,
gave
I
him
know.
everything.
Oh, I know.
Gave him the gun, they gave him the bullets, gave him.
I know. I know for a fact you were the one that handed Kirby that whip and told him to whip DeJuan Mathis after he threw those 2 picks against Florida.
Oh yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
You know those 2 picks that DeJuan Mathis threw against Florida?
Yeah. What about it?
I'm saying that you were the one that handed Kirby that whip and told him to beat DeJuan for it.
Oh nah.
On the sidelines.
Nah, that's Trench's job right there.
No, that was your job.
Nah.
That was you in charge.
I did give Kirby the gun and the bullet for that play Abraham Lincoln was at.
Yeah. We haven't played chess in a while, man. You want to play?
Sure.
All right.
No. How about on?
Go play.
Hey, what's up, Lou?
No. On. On is better than no. Someone needs to join in here.
Yeah, this is fucking boring.
Yeah.
We need Raj back in here. I bet he's already done with his 30th can.
We lost Crimson.
Oh, well. No. Just put 9. Just 9. I wonder how many ways he can say no. He's already got 4. Crimson, you. What is there news going on? Shut up, Crimson. Spam the chat.
I'm about ready to end this one. It's getting pretty late, and I start my job tomorrow, so I'm
When?
excited about that.
Like what time?
What?
What time?
I started. I gotta be there at 1:00. In the afternoon.
Eastern?
Central. It'll be 2 Eastern.
Oh. Alright.
I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here.
Alright. See ya.
Yep. Thanks, Striker, Trenches, for showing up. Striker, Trenches, Crimson Brave came in. The bet was here. Uncle Lou showed up late. Jeff came on as always. Love hearing from him. Kevin Cook. We had a good hangout stream. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, guys. I love y'all. We're 15 away from 400 subs. Share this out on social media, on Twitter, wherever you share it. Let's grow the channel, man. Let's keep building it. I'm gonna keep doing content for you guys and get as much in over the summer as I possibly can before I go off to school, and then I'm gonna be busy with all that. I'll probably step away, at least as far as how much I do. But I love you guys, and I hope you all have an awesome weekend. Keep your head up. Jesus loves you. And again, I love you guys, and please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. Till next time, Ballard Sports Media. Check it out. Love y'all. Good night, and roll tide. Woo!